begin? I know we're a little bit late, everyone, but thank you for waiting and taking the time, giving us the patience.
We don't care, by the way, if you're upset. You can just deal with it.
Oh no, I totally care. Absolutely, without a doubt, I absolutely care. Not really.
Please, the day you care is the day I begin worshipping Satan.
Indeed. Right, so anyway, I hope you're all ready and all that fun stuff.
I had a really witty retort for Atin, but I muted my mic because I was tearing apart a box.
Indeed.
Well, go ahead. Don't keep the group waiting.
It was based off here. Where was it? When Sneaky starts scaring, you'll meet the devil, or you'll meet Satan.
Worship him.
Yes.
Worship him. It's gonna say if you want to get a head start, come down to Georgia.
Indeed.
I'm gonna date myself with that. I'm gonna go find that song real quick. Actually,
yes, because that's what's dated us, Max.
I was laughing at the part where the second I started the podcast, I lost people. But
do I want the karaoke version of this song?
I don't know, Max.
Well, it depends. Is it sung by a J-pop idol?
I'm gonna go.
Can you find that?
Japan. Devil went down to Jamaica. What?
Whatever.
What?
Okay, let's get it going.
No, hold on, Max. You need to listen to this and report back.
The first story we're going to be covering for today is.
Guys, wait. I'm sorry to interrupt, but real quick.
No, you're not.
This is an unregistered Hypercam 2 video. I haven't seen these in literal.
Oh wow,
years.
Unregistered Hypercam 2.
Anyway, so the first story we're going to be covering is a Warcraft Naruto crossover. It is the heir of the Illidari and the Sentinels. After another beating on his life, young Naruto Uzumaki finds the truth about his family and heritage. Trained by his great-great-grandparents and armed with the power of the moon and his inner demons, he will stand together with his allies and loved ones against the burning shadow that will consume the world of Shinobi. Okay, so, as always, don't harass these people that we feature.
We will say this time and again. Leave them alone.
We don't want to get in trouble. Don't want to be that guy who gets accused.
Say, ignoring the we don't want to get in trouble. We genuinely don't want you to be mean to these people. That's our job.
Sorry, I'm late. Had to jury rig my setup back together. Don't worry. We're in the exact same position as you, so don't worry, Isley. You didn't miss nothing. So you get ready? You ready to suffer? Armed by the first father and mother. Yeah, that's an odd choice, yeah. Alright, so let's get this show on the road. As the summary might entail, I mean, it's an okay summary, I suppose. I mean, it's kind of generic, but I mean, not too much wrong with that. It's not cringy, at least.
It's been quiet all day. But as soon as we opened up the house and I started streaming, people.
Nice. But yeah, so the fuck was that?
I don't know.
It sounded like someone was like raping a balloon.
What the hell did I just miss?
Been a dog.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, so as I was saying,
and what?
No, maybe,
what?
Maybe.
What the?
We're not talking about it.
I'm gonna go back to this well-sung parody then.
Indeed.
Can you drop that for the chat, by the way?
As
what?
As it indicates, it looks like it's going to be a merge of the Narutoverse and the WoWverse, as in Narutoverse takes place in the WoWverse or something like that.
Another one of those ones.
So I don't know. I don't know how this goes. So, anyway, let's see. Hello and welcome to another Naruto World of Warcraft story. We all read about Naruto Heir of the Scourge, Naruto Death Knight, or Naruto the Mage. Even Naruto Container of Deathwing or Sargeras. This time it will be about the Illidari and the Sentinels being two clans with their demon hunting powers and night elf powers.
What?
Oh my god. Okay, so what I'm getting from this author's note is that it's going to be the Naruto verse, but the demon hunter powers you get for becoming a demon hunter and the general powers the night elves have, especially the ones blessed by a loon, those are going to be bloodline limits in the Naruto verse.
In my story, Malfurion, Stormrage, and Tyrande will act as siblings and not lovers. If you don't like it, get out. Well, I'm sorry, but that,
They're
you know,
lovers.
that it, I mean, you're directly contradicting the canon, so, yeah.
And to be fair, though, they're already going so fucking extremely AU, it pretty much doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, but here's the thing. If Tyrande and Malfurion aren't a couple, that completely changes Illidan.
What?
Yeah, you're right.
Discord, what the fuck is that embed?
But to be fair, again, it is completely like 3000% AU at this point, so doesn't really matter.
I'm just saying, like at this point, you've gone so far off the rails that...
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying, though, is it looks like he's just going to completely ignore how you become a demon hunter, and he's like, no, it's a bloodline. You don't actually have to do any of the prerequisites that Illidan and the people who followed him did.
Which, you know, means drinking demon blood, mostly.
Yeah.
Oh, is that all that entails?
Oh, just minor things like that.
You know, I just can't see.
Oh, fucking sweet Christ.
What?
Naruto will have the Demon Hunter class as a bloodline, and the powers of Tyrande as a priestess. Wow. And one more thing in my story, Tyrande and Illidan are a couple.
Fucking cool.
Isn't that incest?
I don't...
Are they blood relatives?
So?
I
think they are.
I love how Atin is like, I'm pretty sure they're not, and Sneaky's just really confused.
All I know is Illidan got really fucking super jealous, or like protective of Tyrande or something like that.
No, he was super mad because because it's Malfurion and Illidan that are related, and they both wanted Tyrande.
Yes, okay, that's what it was. Yes, he was super jealous. That's what. Yes.
Yeah, he was super jealous.
It might just be on my end, but your audio seems to be skipping every few seconds.
Whose audio? Mine, Sneaky's, Max's?
I mean, I'm getting below 40 ping on Discord, so it's not that audio. My audio's not skipping for you guys, right?
No, I was gonna say I'm getting under 40 for me on Discord. So
this is the most stable stream I've ever had in terms of Twitch. So it might just be you.
The audio's, yeah.
Yeah, it might just be you, Isley.
Or YouTube having another heart attack.
As a general bit, if your story has to have a harem list, it's probably going to suck.
Yeah, that is one of my complaints I've had before, is I've gotten into stories, I'm like, oh, this is a generally decent, good idea. Oh, there's a harem list in the first chapter. Oh, God. And then I get to the second chapter, it's like, alright, so I've reconsidered some things, and I've taken some comments from people in the review section, and I really think these following people are going to be on the harem list instead of these people. It's just like... Look, characters are a major part of your story, and if you don't know which ones are going to be on the main stage as you're writing it, that plays a big part of how your story goes.
Yeah. And now, granted, this guy at least has... Oh, good. There's some... Oh, good. There's some OCs in there.
It gets worse.
Yeah, okay, but hold on. I was gonna say, first off, we're not even done here.
Yeah, I know.
Let's just finish the first bit of the author's note before we start mocking this list, shall we?
Oh, yeah, I suppose we could do that. Yeah.
Like we'll rip apart the first bit, and then we can rip apart the rest of it.
Okay, so, let's see. So he gets all the powers of Tyrande as a devout priestess and the demon hunter class, because it's a bloodline. They're a couple and a great-grandparents of Naruto, and he's gonna be able to summon the spirits from both the Alliance and the Horde. And he'll be able to summon heroes like King, Varian, Jaina Proudmoore, Uther Lightbringer, Thrall, Durartan, and Drekthar.
Alright, let's just start at the top of all the problems here.
I don't even know where to begin.
First of all...
I'm not sure where to begin with this, though. Like...
Okay, first off, we're just gonna have to talk about this. I get that Malfurion in Tyrande ruins your ship here, author. I get that. This is a fanfiction. You're entitled to do what you want. No one is going to deny you that right. But you do have to recognize that that has a massive butterfly effect. Because if Malfurion doesn't... If Illidan never gets super jealous of Tyrande... he literally doesn't become a demon hunter.
Yeah, that does kind of significantly change some stuff.
He literally
they will
doesn't.
act as siblings, not lovers. Yeah, they did just say that. Not sure about the canon. It wasn't Maeve, one of the old prophets. That could be awkward since she's on the list. Oh god, she's on the list. Oh yeah, Maeve god, she's on the list.
No. Maeve, remember, she's the one that Luna's based off of. She's not a prophet.
No, I know, I'm just saying she was one of the wardens, right? Yeah, no, she was the warden.
Yeah.
Tenten, Tamari, Samui, Karui, Yugito,
the list is so long.
Maeve, OC Blood Elf Demon Hunter, OC Night Elf Demon Hunter.
I know.
Tsunade, Shizune, Sophanis, Ysera, Alexstrasza, female Sasuke, female Madara, Kaguya, Matsubi, female Kiba, Kiba's mom, Kiba's sister, Hanabi, Ino, Fu, and the fucking god of the Night Elves. Wait, so you're gonna have all these people on the list, but you're not gonna fucking put Hinata?
No, he's just gonna include her identical twin sister.
Yeah, fucking just... Oh my god.
You know what? Normally I would say we'll read the first chapter, since this is just an author's note. I don't know if we want to do that.
Isley, you are thinking of Medivh. I believe, something like that. Yeah, Medivh.
Yeah, Medivh's the old prophet.
Oh god, it gets worse. Oh god, it gets worse. That's the harem. If you want me to add more girls, just PM me. Is there any characters left that he's not going to fuck?
Jaina, but that might be because she's dead.
I think it's gonna fucking stop him at this rate. Extreme Sakura, so we got Sakura bashing, Civilian Council bashing. Civilian Council doesn't even exist. Civilian Council is actually a fanon thing. So not only are they going to be bashing it, so not only does it not exist in canon, they're going to be bashing it. Good. Slight Sume bashing. Naruto will forgive her later. Well, I'm going to assume so, being that he fucks her. Kumo.
I mean, hold up. anger sex is a thing.
I suppose, with the exception of Yukito Kuri and Mabui and Sumiri. Oh, so Kumo bashing, Iwa bashing, good elders and Danzo, and good Akatsuki. Strong, intelligent, badass, godlike Naruto, demon hunter priest, lustful Nibby, Sylvanas, Kurenai, Anko, Hana, Yuago. Okay, so all those people are apparently sex crazed. And for the future, I will write Naruto Son of the Horde and release that chapter in a few days. I will never write Naruto times Sakura or Naruto times Hinata stories, because Sakura is useless and Hinata is creepy. Review, or I'll send Pedo Orochimaru after you. Okay, I have a channel on Discord if you wish to discuss this.
Oh.
Don't go to that channel. Do not contact this author.
Don't do it.
Christ.
Stay out of there. We're saying it right now. Don't go there.
Do we want to even read the first chapter?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think we did. Like, this is so obviously...
Yeah, I mean, this is just so...
Look, despite what some people might think, we don't like to just write things off. If you've listened to this podcast at all, you'll know that I'm the one always saying, "Now, come on, let's give it a chance. Read the first chapter. You know, let's try." But this is...
I have been in the Naruto fandom for some while. I don't recognize some of those tags. Yeah, I mean, this is basically not even Naruto anymore. This is, honestly, it's basically not even Naruto anymore.
Well, not only is it not Naruto, like, even ignoring the fact that they've thrown canon completely out the window, which is their right to do as an author.
Yeah.
First of all, you've thrown canon out the window, which means
on both sides.
On both sides. But specifically with the powers you're giving Naruto, first of all, he can't have Tyrande's priestess powers. Unless this is a female Naruto. Which I wouldn't put it past this author.
I mean, maybe.
You know, maybe you could do... You know,
well, Psylod, what's up is, Naruto's got a harem list 10 pages long. Half of the male characters have been converted to female just so he can screw them. And it's basically not even Naruto. And we're trying to debate whether or not we should read it.
But so here's one of the other things. Different problem. Now, while you might have been able to come up with an interesting story bit by saying, "Oh, well, when he does the sexy jutsu, then he can use priestess powers," that might have been interesting.
That would have been pretty funny.
I was gonna say that would have been very funny and actually pretty interesting. As a matter of fact, if anyone out there thinks they can write that story, I'd love to read that.
I would actually that would actually be pretty funny.
But so, first of all, he can't have those powers. You know, magic.
I mean, even ignoring the powers that he's getting, far we got such an completely. We're pretty much ignoring all canon already.
Well, yeah, but I was gonna say, here's the other problem with ignoring that canon. Because Illidan isn't getting super jealous, he's not going to be tempted to dabble in essentially dark magic.
Oh, I you know, but that's
and so he's not going to become a demon hunter. So, because he's becoming a demon hunter, you can't have him. Naruto can't
stories
inherit
to be really good
demon
in spite
hunting.
of bad ideas. Worm is a heavily detailed story which typically backfires. This is a story which I think we can discard. yeah, indeed. So you know, my point is even though canon is just going to be completely thrown out the window. So there's a couple things is the reason why you would read a fanfiction, right? You're reading it for the setting, you're reading it for the characters, or you're reading it for the idea. The setting's already gone because both the Naruto world and the WoW world have pretty much been thrown out the window in terms of following canon. The characters have also been thrown out the window now, Because Naruto is the extreme opposite of what he is portrayed in canon. Despite my opinions on how he is in canon, he's the 180 opposite to the extreme.
Yeah.
Then we have disproportional canon characters being written disproportional. Sorry, we have canon characters being written disproportionally now. And so they're basically just going to become caricatures of whatever the author dislikes about them.
Yeah.
And so the characters are gone from this story. And now there's the idea. Would it have been a good idea? Maybe. I think, however, a better way to approach this idea, if you were going to do it, would be Naruto finds some tome while away on one of those filler missions that he does in between main plot points. And, uncovers the Book of Demon Hunting or whatever. Then summons the spirit of Illidan or something. Like even that would be better than what's going on here.
You could literally have... I just thought of one of the most throwaway plots ever. If you had normal Naruto, you could just have someone in a village start a rumor that up in a mountain somewhere, there's a goblet that if you drink from it, will give you massive power enough to become a Hokage.
Yeah,
and
you
could literally have it be the skull of Mal'Ganis, and just have it sitting there. Naruto goes up, thinks, "Man, it's pretty creepy, but for the power to make my dream come true, I'll drink from this weird thing." And now you have Demon Hunter Naruto.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there could have been so many other ways that the author could have approached this idea, and I would have read it. I honestly would have sat down and devoted time to reading it, but it's just... I'm not going to be writing Naruto. I'm going to be writing my super powerful badass OC that's wearing the face of Naruto, and he's going to have sex with over 20 plus women. There's going to be no bad guys in the story because they're all good guys now. All the mildly annoying characters are going to be turned to 11 as I write them disproportionately, and I'm going to be ignoring the canon of both worlds. It's so why would I read this story then?
And
I mean, yes, yes, you can come from the angle of, oh, it's a power fantasy story. It's well, yeah, but a power fantasy story on fanfiction.net, you can buy 3,000 of those for a penny.
I was going to say.
It's not like there's anything keeping you on this one.
I was going to say, and unfortunately, there are a lot ones out there that are much better written that don't completely ignore everything I came to the story for in the first place.
Like One Punch Gamer, for example. Holy hell, that was good.
Yeah. I'm just saying, even under the Naruto tag, there's plenty of much better written power fantasies with an intelligent, competent Naruto.
Oh yeah, no, I've definitely seen plenty of them. I mean, I could bring up a couple.
I'm just saying in reference to this specific story. And then we have the fact that we've got a harem with... What?
An excessive number of characters.
20 people?
Something like that. It's an excessive number of characters, and the main problem there is, I don't have too much of a problem with harem. My main problem with this is that the harem is just so large, the author's going to find it impossible to write that many characters in every chapter.
And even if you don't write them, and no one's saying that you'd have to write them all in every chapter, because obviously that'd be impossible, but with a list this long, unless you're rewriting War and Peace, you're not going to be able to give even brief caricatures of them, let alone give characters like Maeve, Sylvanas,
I've seen stories that break out of the mold, Professor Arkenforge's Destiny, but this seems to violate all three of my points. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, is you can successfully write a fanfiction story on any one of those points. The setting, the characters, or the idea. But you have to have at least one, though. It's because otherwise your story is just another one of thousands. Of tens of thousands, of hundreds of thousands. Not everyone can be unique, but,
I was gonna say, So apparently, someone in the chat is saying there's something called the 8th chevron and everything afterwards.
The 8th chevron and beyond. Anyone over 100 character harem, hundreds sex scenes, megabytes and megabytes of text. The 8th chevron and everything afterwards.
I assume that's what they meant.
I'm assuming it's a TV trope or something. Statement.
I'm just saying.
But I mean, I've seen stories that have tried, not even with harems, but they just tried to have a large cast and was like, okay, well, you know, this event has occurred. How does everyone view this event? And they ended up stopping writing the story because they were just like, holy shit, I can't give every character's point of view. It's like 10 chapters of point of view of the exact same event occurring.
Yeah.
And so they started to discard all these points of view until we just got back to the main character and basically no one else was written anymore because A, it's a fan fiction, they're trying to write this for fun or a hobby or whatever. But it's a fan fiction. They're not getting paid for this. They're wasting their time on this basically day in, day out, writing the same event over and over again with little bits of variation from the different points of view. And eventually you're going to discard these other characters because you just want to get the story moving.
Yeah, I was going to say, The Wheel of Time, book series that many people have enjoyed, myself being one of them, that is a book series where there's 3 protagonists that share the spotlight, and then there's a number of other secondary characters that get a lot of screen time, and that is 14 books long.
Yeah.
That is
I would love to read a harem smut scene written from 8 different point of views. I mean, it would be something.
You'd have to really get some variation.
Let's see. Let's get a non-Naruto, non-Warcraft fic going here.
Well, I was gonna say, do we wanna go back maybe now? Look at the some of the ones we thought that would be good.
Yeah, no, I'll bring up some of the good ones.
I was just saying, do we want to do that now?
I mean, I don't know any. I don't know any in the list because again, I don't read this list. I just look at the summaries and go, hey, this might be interesting to talk about. This is obviously going to be a garbage fire, standard overpowered OC fic as well. So you know, I'll bring up a one of my favorites real quickly, just to juxtaposition the two. Come on, there we go. Large casts tend to bog down stories. Yep. Do a big cast, use story. Yeah. Yep. Basically, Isley. Basically. One of the recent stories that I read, it was The Gamer and High School D times D. And the author straight up wrote an arc that at the end of the arc, only like 10 people were left from the cast. Because he was just like, I'm not gonna write all these characters. So he just fucking killed everyone.
Indiscriminate murder. Got it.
I think he might have crossed that at one point. If harem can equal dozens of telepathically linked. What? I think I might have run across that at one point. If the harem can equal dozens of telepathically linked Ray clones.
You know what? I'm not gonna ask a question to that.
I'm not gonna ask questions.
That's an
either.
answer I don't need.
Let's see. I mean, hey, this is convenient. One of the top stories on my favorites list right now is The Storm Reaver, which is a Harry Potter Warcraft crossover, in which Harry Potter ends up in the Warcraft universe, gets adopted by Gul'dan, gets taught to be Warlock.
Oh dear.
And then someone throws a Hearthstone at him. And he ends up back in the HP verse.
Okay, so first of all, I gotta ask, why is you have to give me a real good reason for Gul'dan adopting a human.
I believe he was planning on using Harry as a, saboteur.
Alright, that's fine.
Yeah. I think that was the original reason given, and the author basically wrote it out as, like, he picked him up as a baby, he's like, I could train this kid to be a saboteur. And then he starts training the kid, and he looks at him as slowly over time, he starts to see Harry as an apprentice instead. And,
I was going to say, instead of disposable saboteur A.
Yeah.
Which, I hate to nitpick here, I don't think Gul'dan would ever look kindly on anyone at all. Just...
Oh no, he very much still wrote it as a, Gul'dan's more or less using him. But it was still, he's less of a disposable puppet and more of a useful puppet.
I was gonna say, Gul'dan, he doesn't feel bad. He's just like, you know what?
You're more useful to me alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't watch, even, Neon Genesis. Yeah, I don't... I've stayed away from that because I just kind of want to punch Shinji in the face every single time he exists. So yeah, check out the Storm Reaver if you guys are interested in that story. It's very well done. It's pretty long right now. He's got a decent update, right? Pretty good shit. I don't want to read it out loud because,
No, I don't.
That's kind of just, it's kind of just there for, hey, here's a good one. Let's move on. So we're moving on to this. This is a Inheritance Cycle Elder Scrolls crossover.
Okay, that I was gonna say just before we do anything, before I know anything
makes
about
sense.
this,
It works.
I was gonna say that in and of itself can work.
The crossover
great.
works. Yeah. That is a key part. There is the crossover. Initially, the series themselves work as a crossover, which is important. And
I was gonna say, magic in and of itself might be a little but that can be worked around.
I have seen some incredible explanations when it comes to the variance in magics between the Elder Scrolls and the Inheritance Cycle.
Like I was saying, it's a small enough problem that you can get around it.
Yeah, if you're good at words, you can probably get around it. But anyway, this is Scattered Ashes. Spider had been transported to a new world, Vaglasia, to lay her friends to rest. Though in order to do that, she must first bring an end to the war, lest Serana will never find the peace she deserves in death. Why, is she, like, fucking possessed or something? Anyway, this Fic will have overpowered Dragonborn, and she only gives 5 seconds of mercy.
Okay, I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean.
Alright, I'm gonna send the link out to everyone.
Oh boy.
Any opinions that drop in there, Max, before we get started?
Max, you need to look at how edgelordy this character's name is. We're calling you in on the consultant scale. How far does the main character's name rate on the edgelord scale?
I think Max is dead.
It's finally killed him.
All right, everyone, press F to pay respects to Max.
I mean, yeah, I'm glad you switched the banner because spider poison blood.
F you. Thanks, Devil Spidey.
Spider.
All right, so this is another context chapter. I really appreciate the authors giving us these context chapters instead of actually, writing. That way we can completely avoid actually reading their writing.
No, now to be fair, while it isn't like the author's note, there is actual story in this one.
Is there? Oh, so there is an actual short opening chapter. Excellent.
However,
story and character points. Spider Poisonblood is the dragonborn that became immortal after devouring Alduin's soul, which breaks canon, but whatever. This also gave her the power to do the dragon shouts she wouldn't have been able to do before, but at significant cost. So basically, she can infinite dragon shout now. It has been about 189 years since Alduin's, missing the apostrophe, demise, and Spydar has done just about all she can in Skyrim and some of the surrounding places like Cyrodiil. I highly doubt that. A lot of things go wrong in the Elder Scrolls universe.
I was gonna say, things go wrong at such a hilariously alarming rate, you'd almost think it was a game.
Excuse me, Devil Spidey, they identify as female? Spydar, being an Imperial, though I am open to changing the race, is great at talking her way out of things, though not always. Spider is good with two-handed, though she is best with either bow or sword, usually of my own design, using a dagger with a sword or spell in her signature stance. Signature stance, guys. Did you know that only Spydar Poisonblood uses spells and weapons at the same time? You had something to say?
Just this whole nonsense.
Spydar can use conjuration spells without fail. Meridia isn't very happy about it, but the two aren't hateful of each other. But Meridia doesn't care as long as she's not summoning necromancy shit.
As a deal with Meridia, she allows Spider to use conjuration even on the dead, though around Spider, the undead will take a lot more damage from near fatal blows. What? What does that mean?
I don't know. We all own Shadow Warrior already, so don't really. Yeah. This is Isley, good God, this is going to be one of those stories, isn't it? Yes, it is going to be one of those stories. Spydar is an adept at illusion magics, though she only uses invisibility, of course. She can use minor destruction spells, maybe a fireball if she really, really tries. That actually surprisingly goes against how magic do.
I was just saying, that is not how magic do in the Elder Scrolls universe. Literally, it doesn't matter what the spell is. If you as a being have the mana pool to cast it, that's it. You just have to be able to meet the mana requirement. You want to shoot? You want to call a bolt of lightning from heaven to smite your foes? That'll be 100 mana. You want to shoot a fireball that'll blow an entire room up? That'll be 280 mana. Or whatever the values are. It doesn't matter. It's just...
It's a very rigid system in that you need to like go through this humongous process of enchanting the book so other people can learn the spell. But once they read the book, they learn the spell instinctually. And so it's like not a matter of remembering it past that point. But at the same time, it's what makes magic in that verse so dangerous. Because to get a new spell, you basically have to start from square one.
Yeah.
I'm sure if this is the author being bad or not, but they seem to have used mechanics from multiplayer games, such as failing to cast Blade and Blunt from Oblivion and casting Swords from Skyrim. Failing to cast from Morrowind, yeah. Yeah, that was a Morrowind thing, and this is the canon explanation given by Bethesda, is that magic advanced significantly between Morrowind to Oblivion to Skyrim, that things changed, schools got rearranged, and magic got easier.
Doesn't Skyrim go back in time?
Nope, Skyrim takes place 200 years after Oblivion, which takes place like 120 after Morrowind.
That's right.
Which takes place like 300 after Daggerfall, which takes place like another couple hundred years after Arena.
Which, I mean, look, if they go with that explanation, fine. You know, that's fine. That failing to cast is gone. Cool.
Half-Minute Hero is basically the Elder Scrolls with a doomsday spell inscribed into a book. So yes, very dangerous. Yeah. But
yeah,
like I don't have a problem with people taking, mechanics from the game source or whatever, if that's how they want to roll the story. But like, make sure the mechanics you're taking haven't been explained away in canon yet.
Yeah.
So,
like, for instance, they haven't given us a good reason for why they got rid of blunt damage, because there isn't one.
Yeah.
They took it away because they were trying to simplify it for stupid people.
Yeah. But it's just like, But anyway, Spidar is an expert on restoration magic and specializes in healing herself, others, and a few wards. Spidar is hopeless at alteration magic, though she can cast a weak version of water breathing.
Again, not how that works.
Again, it sort of is in terms of, like, you have to practice and really learn. Like, the skill levels they display in Skyrim and Oblivion and Morrowind aren't so much, they're supposed to represent your knowledge in the subject, which directly limits you on what kind of spells you can learn, because, again, the spell books are more than just, you open it up and you get the spell. Technically speaking, in the canon of Elder Scrolls, when you open up the book and you read what's inside and you understand the theory behind the spell, you then instinctually learn the spell because of the enchantments on the book.
You just say, yeah, that's it. The end.
So it's if you're like, I'm bad at alteration, doesn't mean like I'm bad at casting alteration. It just means you don't have the mindset to really understand the theories behind alteration. If that makes sense to people.
And if it doesn't, too bad, because we no one's got good explanations for this.
Wait, what? That mean Uriel Septon was at least really fucking old? Yeah, I'm not quite sure how the dynasties work specifically. In hello Silent Twillo. I'm not sure how the dynasties work specifically in Elder Scrolls. I believe the era was when the family died. Correct me if I'm wrong. Each new era occurred when the family would die out.
Maybe, I think.
Something like it's been a while since I've like really investigated into that, but I do know that Skyrim was a significant period of time after Oblivion, and Oblivion was a significant period of time after Morrowind.
Yeah.
At least a minimum of one generation. And I mean a full generation, not like 20 years younger.
Yeah.
Uriel Septon was the Emperor for the first 4 games. He died in Oblivion. Was he, though?
I thought the name... I thought
that was just a name that got passed on.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because... Wasn't Arena the first era?
I thought...
Or was it third era? I'm pretty sure Arena was first era. Like I said, it's been a real fucking long time since I've actually sat down and looked at it all. Anyway, let us continue.
I was just say, hold on, I'll
Yeah, you look it up while I clean my glasses.
Well, I was gonna say I'll start doing lore checks here.
Yeah, no, go for it. Like I said, I'm just gonna clean my glasses.
I was gonna say, because, and this is one of the things that we always get mad about, people. You know what? You have the internet at your fingertips.
Yeah.
It takes 20 seconds.
Okay, let's keep going. Specializes in healing. So, Spider has a very beautiful voice.
Okay, hold on. I want to point out. He lived from Third Era 346 to 433. So, he acts mainly as a catalyst at the events, whether intentionally, such as sending the protagonist of Morrowind to Morrowind, or indirectly being kidnapped in the first game, Arena.
Okay, so I was wrong on the time frames. Okay, good.
However, Uriel is the son of Pelagius Septim IV. He came to power in 368 and reigned for several decades before his eventual death as an aged monarch in 433. His reign was marked by great change over Tamriel as the empire moved further towards becoming a fully unified state spread across the empire. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna keep going.
So Arena was the first game, which means Uriel was alive for that. So yes, Uriel was alive for the first through fourth games. So which means I'm wrong, and it was a generation though. It wasn't a full generation, but it was the next generation of people.
Okay, no, hold on. First
Good catch,
era,
Isley.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find this. This is a terrible timeline. Here we go.
So
the Elder Scrolls wikis.
It's been so long since I've ever touched Elder Scrolls. Oh my god, it's been like 3 years since I've launched Skyrim. Anyway, I'll keep going while you keep looking up the lores.
Yeah.
Spider has a very beautiful voice, simply meant for singing. She can't grasp how to do simple alchemy, though. Her smithing is top-notch. The spider can enchant items, though she's far from great.
Alright, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
Here is the here is a timeline. So the Elder Scrolls Online is the oldest game. It takes place in the Second Era, 582. Then the Redguard Adventure, which takes place Second Era, 864. Arena takes place Third Era, 389 to 399. Legend Battlespire, same timeline. Travel Shadowkey, Third Era, 397. Daggerfall, everything after this is Third Era, except for Skyrim. Daggerfall, Third Era, 405. Morrowind, Third Era, 427. Oblivion, Third Era, 433. And Skyrim is Fourth Era, 201.
Okay, so Skyrim is 200 years minimum after Oblivion.
Yes.
Got it. So I was correct on that part.
Yes. The Elder Scrolls Legends tells the story of the Great War, which occurred Fourth Era, 171 to 175, but the storyteller was telling this story sometime after the events of Skyrim with no indication of when that was. Elder Scrolls Travel Stormhold and Elder Scrolls Travel Dawnstar are harder to date. There isn't really any indication of when the games take place. Okay.
Okay, now that we got that completely irrelevant part of lore out of the way.
I was going to say, but we answered the question that was mostly bothering us.
Yes, indeed. Let's see. Spider has learned to fluently speak in the dragon tongue, and has learned all of the dragon shouts, even though she probably shouldn't.
What?
Champion and or buddy to good amount of Daedra princes, including Nocturnal, her favorite, Clavicus, Hermaeus, Malakoth, Herkine, though she isn't a werewolf, Azura, Bothia, and Sheogorath. Needless to say, they will want to ensure their favorite doesn't get hurt too needlessly.
Okay,
maybe like 2 of those?
Okay, look. This is a problem that I've had with the Elder Scrolls in and of itself for a long time.
Yeah, the fandom, yeah.
You know, I at minimum, you know, I wish they would, you know, the other Daedra would, like, comment, like, you know, I see that you are favored of blah, 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 but I shall still allow you to work for me because I need this done and you are at minimum competent.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a thing that it's both in the games and in the fan fiction. I think that fan fiction suffers heavily from this. In any fan fiction of games in which the main character can do everything, I think there's a lot of suffering that is done on the authors and readers' parts. When the author's like, "Oh, I'm going to write about my character who literally did 100% completion run," and it's like, well, that's not enjoyable to read.
Because no longer do I have to question, can they solve this problem? Yes. Unequivocally, yes.
Yeah, they know all the spells, they know all the shouts, they know all the summons, they know they're champion of everyone. It's just like, but that doesn't write an interesting story. I mean, it's one thing again if you're like gonna do a crack fic where they go to some other world and they act really super silly, a la I don't know, what's that one?
No need for Halkagenian logic.
Yeah, no need for Halkagenian logic, in which the Skyrim main character ends up in a familiar Zero and proceeds to just completely gamify everything and just it's fucking hilarious, is what it is. 100%.
Cracky cell.
100% crack, but it is great. But yeah, I feel like these fandoms suffer a bit because like no one wants to read about a character that does 100%. Everyone wants to read like, oh, I remember reading a really long time ago the hero of Kvatch. The only thing they were affiliated with was the Dark Brotherhood, and they were only a mid-tier member. And that's it. That's how the story approached a lot of the quests, the main quest, of course, but it approached a lot of the side quests as well as the side quests that you could realistically get as you're going from main quest location to main quest location, and the Dark Brotherhood quest locations. Approach these side quests from that angle of, okay, they're an assassin. They're not, like some amazing assassin that just shot through the ranks, but they're an okay assassin. They're skilled.
You say they do the job.
Yeah, it left room for conflict. It left room for character development. It left room for plot development. In that it wasn't just they have just the right weapon for the job every single time. Penis aside, I feel like this would be a better revealed through scene rather than a summary at the beginning of the story. Yeah, pretty much. Author's notes kind of. Yeah, author's notes kind of.
That's something we've complained about time and again, and will continue to do so. Author's notes that show instead of tell.
I mean, it's not even just author notes that show instead of tell. We've talked about quite significantly the first paragraph of the story always being, their blue eyes shined in the sun as their blonde hair flapped on their back, and they were wearing black clothes with these, combat boots, and they had, a sword on their hip, and it was of intricate design, and it's just like, don't do that. Introduce the details of a character throughout the first chapter. It makes the story flow better. It reads less forced, and it doesn't make people roll their eyes when they're just like, for example, as I said earlier when I was helping someone, I didn't even describe my main character's face in the Dark Souls story until chapter 2. Like halfway through chapter 2 was when they finally described their face, because there was no reason for them to inspect their face or for someone to inspect their face until that point. So
it didn't matter.
There was no point in telling about it. I mean, yes, it's important to get to tell about your character, but it's also important to introduce those characters slowly in terms of, especially the main character, in terms of detail. Because trying to paint the scene by telling someone everything about someone every single time a new character walks on the scene, it's an information overload, and it's just like, okay, yeah, well, that's great, I want to get on with the story, It also makes streamers work at picking at your stuff, and there's an AN, it's too easy for them. Yes, indeed, it makes it far too easy for us. Make us read your story, damn it. Anyway, let's get into it.
Make us work for the joy of shredding your abomination of a story.
Spider watched in helpless agony as her friend, companion, and sister died in her arms. It was a cruel twist of fate that led Serana, dying in her arms, and the one who caused the act couldn't stop gloating. The constant gloating that in the moments Spider was looking into Serana's eyes couldn't hear. The High Elf stood over them with two of her guards that remained after the fighting was over, and said one thing that made Spider snap. It needs to be a comma there because it is in fact a dialogue continuing off of the previous sentence. She was worthless anyway. She was worthless whore anyway. She was worthless whore anyway. I'm sure Molag Bal will be happy to have her back. Alright. In that instant, why is this a new... It's a new paragraph, but it's not capitalized, so I don't know if they accidentally hit the paragraph button, and they meant to continue the paragraph, or sentence, or whatever's going on there. In that instant, everything was deathly silent, as the Dragonborn slowly lay Serana on the cold metal floor within the Dwemer ruin. Spider stood at her full height, which was tall for an Imperial, and glared at the High Elf that dared insult her friend. No, friend was too much of a lesser term. They were sisters in all but blood, and the only family she had left. The dragons within Spider were snarling viciously and waiting
Not
to
how
be
that
set
works.
free upon
Not how
the
that
Ultimer.
works.
It needs to be capitalized, it's a race name. And don't start a sentence with "and" unless you got a real good reason. Spider couldn't come up with a single reason why they shouldn't. Got some dragon speak going on there. You forgot to mention that gradual introduction helps humanize the characters if you're still learning things about them. Chapters into the story, it helps the characters grow, not boring. Yes, indeed. That is another important part. Also, it helps you avoid moments where you have your character simultaneously reading a large tome, putting on clothes, and looking out at the sunset.
That will never get old, will it?
That will never get old.
How much bad stuff have I missed?
Oh, you've missed colossal amounts of bad stuff. Everyone, your respects have been paid. We appreciate you all pressing F, but Max is back now.
Don't worry, the war on germs continues. I've been tagged out for the time being.
Indeed. Basically, Spider is a completionist hero, but the author decided to.
Max, we're calling on you to consult. We need your opinion on where on the edgelord scale does the name Spider Poison Blood fall.
You know what? I'm not even gonna give this an edgelord scale. I feel like you went looking for an Elder Scrolls name generator, but you found the shittiest one on page 12 and hit random.
Yeah. See, important. That is something we probably should have touched on before we started reading. But an important thing about naming your characters is both making sure, if the locality is, based on Germany, making sure their name's Germanic of origin for the time period it's set in.
Unless they're a foreigner.
Yeah, unless they're foreign.
The point being,
is typical naming conventions of Skyrim, of the Imperials. The Imperials are more often than not named after the profession they are, while the Nords were more often than not named in the traditional sense of my father's name, son. So, Rorark Garrowson. His father is Garrow Jorvak's son. The name sounds very Warhammer D&D. Yeah, so basically, my point being is an Imperial being named Spider Poisonblood is incredibly unrealistic.
Like, the fact of the matter is, the Imperials are essentially fantasy Romans.
Yeah, pretty much.
And as such, while their names will not necessarily be
Roman,
Latin sounding,
yeah,
some of them are, like shopkeepers named Lucius.
Yeah.
Or like, it's just, you know, the
thank you,
point
Google.
being Spider Poisonblood is not an Imperial name.
That's the sort of
Alright.
name I would expect out of, like, an orc and a dark elf having a kid.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
All right.
back to
So
it.
I just went and got a name generator specifically for Imperials from Elder
Yeah.
Scrolls. I even
Yeah.
picked the first one. This
Yeah.
is a good female name.
No?
Calatia Geronis.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
I really need to look into the algorithms for these things at some point. I'm curious how they go about figuring this stuff out.
Like we said, it's probably some sort of Latin name generator, filled with
literally from the Elder Scrolls wiki, Imperial characters often have Latin names.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Examples include
Thank you, wiki.
Sore Vanilius, Tullius, Camilla Valerius, Cicero, keeping with the overall Roman characteristics. Starting with Skyrim, some of them began to sound more Italian than Latin, but it's still there.
I mean, I think the point there is that 10 seconds of research would have saved you a hell of a time.
The bottom line being, your Imperial is not going to be named Spider Poisonblood.
Well, I mean, maybe they're not actually an Imperial. They were just raised to believe that, and they're actually an Argonian or
I
something.
was about to say, they were an Argonian the whole time!
But not even an Argonian would have a name like that!
Oh no, Poisonblood would be
No.
a name I could see an Argonian having.
Actually,
But not Spider!
No, here's the thing, though, and I feel like if the Argonian was taken in as a child, would the Imperial family really understand those traditions and how that's supposed to work?
That's a good
Okay,
point, yeah.
maybe.
Like, I know there had. I had to look this up because I got curious about the Elder Scrolls books that exist, apparently.
They're trans Argonian.
Wait, no, what? Dang
We're
it,
not-
Silver King.
We're not bringing We're not bringing up those idiots.
Alright.
Anyways.
Okay, let's keep going. Oh. With a single move, she was upon them before they could react to her words or movement. Spider had drawn her razor-sharp Daedric blade of her own design. Meaning EGOC blade.
This of her own design. Here's the thing. If you're trying to say that she just smithed it, why in your magnificent author's note did you not tell us, hey,
I'm
Master
yawning, is
Blacksmith?
that okay? Yeah, it's okay, Devil Spidey.
It's okay.
But why say Daedric dagger? Like, just say she made a dagger using a Daedric heart. That sounds less pretentious and stupid.
I mean, not that you're gonna, have much success making this sound less stupid, but...
I know, but at least that way I don't sound like a pretentious asshole. I made a Daedric dagger of my own design. Then, I made this dagger with a Daedric heart. How? Which one sounded more pretentious? Tone and all.
The first one, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the other problem is that so I have to point this out. The last chapter for this is literally called Guest Review Response with a C.
Although I like chapter 13's title, Nidwall Bitch. I don't know why. I just really like that title, and I don't know why.
My main problem with just saying of her own design, it's it's counterproductive to describing the dagger. Because she hasn't described the dagger yet. All she says is it's a Daedric dagger of her own design. So it's like,
Which tells
okay,
us nothing, because
so it's,
we all know what
the
a
only
Daedric
image of
dagger
Daedric
looks
dagger is, but it's not that one. It's like, okay, so then she's holding a dagger that we can't imagine now because you're not describing it?
Okay.
Didn't the Daedric dagger actually change design from Morrowind to Oblivion to Skyrim slightly? Like, aren't there small differences? Or like, when I think Daedric Blade, I immediately think Skyrim because that's my first Elder Scrolls game. That's the one I'm familiar with.
Supposedly it's evolved over time as the Smiths got better at incorporating the Daedra heart into ebony or something.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay. Yeah, Argonians are a bunch of nonsense. I'm not gonna bother trying to explain this. I barely understand it myself.
Alright, let's keep going. Alright, let's go. Let's see.
Dang it, now I'm just imagining her as an Argonian in these scenes. I'm sorry.
Go for it. 100%. You should write a review describing how clearly they are superior as an Argonian.
Like, fuck, I just completely rewrote this story in my mind, and I haven't even read any of it. I just got in here.
That's probably for the best, though.
I just got in here in time for the Daedric Blade, and that's it.
Indeed. Of her own design, and buried it up to the hilt in one of the guards before slicing to the left to parry a hit. A hit? Was she punching you?
No, the high elf woman drew her own blade, apparently.
Well, yes, I realize she drew her own blade. What I'm saying is, you don't describe swinging your sword at someone as a hit.
Yeah. Also, I want to point out...
Maybe she was punching while drawing her sword?
Buried it to the hilt in 1-1. I would point out, 1 is in there twice.
Technically speaking, that is correct usage.
I know, but...
Hilt in 1-1 of the... No, that's actually incorrect. That's,
They're missing some words in there.
You need another word in there between the ones. At least one word in there. Buried it to the hilt in 1-1 of the guards.
Okay, yeah, they are missing a word, okay.
They're missing a word. But, whatever. Anyway, to the hilt...
Everything's always up to the hilt. Yes.
Yeah.
When it comes to swords, everything's buried to the hilt.
Despite the fact that that is a terrible... I would say, despite the fact that's a terrible decision, as I was just about to discuss, because you have buried it into the... You have rammed your blade...
To the cross guard.
Into...
Minimum, yeah.
And this isn't a sword.
This is a dagger.
So, here's the thing. Maybe I could believe that you could rip that sword. Maybe I would believe that you could rip a sword out of a human being if it was buried to the hilt in them. Maybe I could believe that for someone
Actually, a
very
dagger
strong.
would be easier. There's far less stuff.
You gotta keep in mind that, too, the Skyrim brand of Daedric weaponry is one-sided. It's not double-edged.
Oh,
yeah, no, so that's even worse.
Yeah. In fact, the Daedric dagger is not ideal for this stuff. It's not ideal for stabbing, ironically.
I was gonna say the Daedric dagger is more of a slashing dagger. The point being, you have just buried this weapon hilt deep in a human being.
Yep. For reference, here is the Daedric dagger in Skyrim. That is not a stabbing dagger.
No, it is not.
No. I mean, here's the thing. Maybe if you're doing like a sacrificial down stab, which I could believe of a Daedric dagger.
Yeah, so this own design had better be a double-edged stiletto made with a Daedric heart and ebony.
Indeed.
Otherwise,
because
fuck yourself.
That, first of all, burying that up to the hilt in a human being, that's going to be hard.
Especially because one side's not even being cut, so that requires like, significant
no less,
physical
though,
force.
you can do that.
Oh, we're not denying that it's impressive. We're just saying, but so then, you're telling me that they're going to rip this out of a human being
And then
sideways,
and then
because
yeah,
it has to
use
be
it to
sideways,
parry it. Yeah, that's
because they're parrying at a blow. Also, that's a terrible dagger for parrying.
Yeah, it's just fear me, human. Why do you keep posting all these links? Xenon, why? I would like to point out that 3 men have just spent the past 3 minutes talking about sticking a long metal pole into someone.
Like, here's the thing. I get that you want to have your edgy OC, but you could have just picked a. Here we go. Here's a dragon bone dagger.
That's a fair enough point, Seeks. That is this is supposedly a super strength, super agility, immortal dragonborn that 100% did everything.
Okay, I'm just gonna point this out, Isley. This is not a long metal pole. This is at best a 1.5 foot long dagger. That is including hilt and all. We can, however, acquire 2 8-foot long galvanized steel dock pipes for 56.78, not including tax and shipping. So Sneaky,
my main problem here is though, and actually, Zeke's bringing it up, and I didn't think of this before when I was talking about this, but my main problem now with this story is that they said they're 179 years old. Well, post the event that occurred. 179 years after killing Alduin, right? And that they have, quote, done everything. But somehow they're still shit at 90% of the magic?
That's a good point, actually. Like, I could understand the 189-year-old being the 189-year-old human being best buds with most of the Daedra. You know what? I can easily see a human being over 189 years of life getting caught up in a lot of Daedric nonsense. After all, you're in Skyrim for a few months, and every Daedra has their hooks in you. Now, while I know that's part game mechanic,
yeah, no, it's still a fair point, though.
I can easily see that happening. Also, like I said, I know you're trying to have your edgy OC, but you could have said a dragonbone dagger, and this scene would be working far better.
Yeah, honestly...
I'm not sure why you went for the Daedric dagger aside from, edge, because the dragonbone dagger actually hits hard.
Yeah, basically, I don't know why you would go for a Daedric dagger besides making your character dark and edgy.
I was gonna say, because believe it or not, I was gonna say, don't the dragonbone...
The dragonbone does something like, I think, 13 extra rating on just the daggers alone.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
All the dragonbone weapons hit harder than the Daedric weapons. I know this because I was trying to figure out the best one to run around with.
I believe the Daedric armor is better, isn't it?
Yes, the Daedric armor is better.
If this was an RP playthrough, I could see them avoiding learning certain things, but this is a completionist playthrough. Yeah, pretty much. That's the problem. That is why I dislike people writing completionist playthroughs when it comes to fanfiction. Because it's just like, well then what's the reason that they're bad at anything? If they're immortal or whatevs, shouldn't they be good at everything by this point, regardless of their opinion on the subject?
I think at this point the only thing they should be bad at is interactions with people. And their high talent.
Now that's a story I would read. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, they're immortal, they got all this shit, but they can't interact for dick because they spent all this time learning all this shit.
Yeah, no, his best friend is Parthenax. And how
I would totally read a learning to be human story.
Oh god, I would unironically love it. The Dragonborn's only friend is Parthenax. Parthenax doesn't know how to interact with humans. His companions were like the Greybeards, for fuck's sake.
Exactly.
And they don't talk with humans very often because they kill humans when they talk to them.
No, okay, they don't. They can whisper.
Yeah,
only one can.
That takes effort.
Supposedly, only the weakest of the Greybeards can still talk to humans without shouting.
So, yeah, point still stands. They're not interacting with a lot of people.
But yeah, you know, like it's you know, there's so many ways you could approach this story, and yet again, you've approached it in the one way that completely crumples.
No, not the one way. There are many ways this could be terrible. This is one of them.
I said completely crumples.
Ah.
Like, the way they approached it and the way they set everything up just completely ruined any direction they could take it.
Yeah.
Because they got family, they got interactions with people, so we can't take it in the route of, you know, learning to be, you know, interact with people again. We can't take it the route of learning to grow stronger because they're immortal and they're already super strong. We can't take it the route of, you know, conflict and the enemy's always, you know, more powerful, so they have to be cleverer because the enemies have already been defeated. And now they're throwing them into a low to mid fantasy story setting.
Oh, that's right. It went the inheritance cycle.
Yeah, it's like tossing a fucking level 20 wizard into like I don't know, Lord of the Rings.
Literally every problem is solved.
Literally every problem solved within the first day because wizards have access to time stop.
Well, not just that. The wizard would just be like, "Oh man, this one ring thing's pretty strong." Teleports to it. Wow, this is an incredibly dangerous magical artifact. I should destroy it.
Puts it in the negative plane, and that's taken care of.
Well, I was gonna say he would just be like, "Huh, no one around here can access the negative plane." He's like, well, no, he'd be like, I'll destroy this. Oh, I can destroy it at this place. Oh, but if I do that, it would screw over a bunch of other people. I'm not gonna do that. Instead, I'll just put this in the negative plane, where no one can where no one besides me can ever get to it. And then I'll erase the knowledge of where I put it from my mind.
Boom.
Problem
Perfect.
solved for literally ever.
Xenon Quark. I've never even heard of Flay World, let alone watched it. Anyway, so
I was gonna say, even if they didn't do that, it would literally be, oh, I'll just teleport there and throw it in. We can't let you go alone. Oh, that's okay. Mass teleport. Teleport circle.
Yeah, exactly. Like wizards. High fantasy is broken when you put it into low to mid fantasy. Mid fantasy is broken when you put it into low fantasy. Like the settings do work as an overlap. Because most of the characters haven't hit the high fantasy part of it yet.
But when you take characters that are actually high fantasy, and there's not even the, oh, well, he doesn't know where he's teleporting to, because he can either use Greater Teleport to do that, or he can just go to Elrond, who is an elf, and has been there, and been like, yo, can you describe this place for me? Yeah. And it's not like he can't give an accurate description. It's pretty hard to mess up. Okay, so now
I actually want to see. You forgot that Icy's like, I forgot this story was a crossover. Yeah, it's a crossover. Yeah. I actually want to see that story now. A fucking level 20 wizard of D&D gets dropped into Lord of the Rings.
We can write that. We can write that. It'll be like
we can't.
No, it'll be like It'll be like a 10,000 word story.
Oh god, no, we couldn't write that.
No. I think you guys could write it. Just have a little D&D session with Nosehair and have him play the unwitting wizard. See if he catches on. See how long it takes him to catch on. That'll be part of it. It'll be a fourth wall breaking wizard, just to be safe.
We'll just have a text-to-speech device recording everything.
Actually, Zeeks, the Dragonborn is are like 200-ish years old
in this one,
because it's 100 and whatever years after killing Alduin, and you're already like 20-ish by that point.
I was gonna say, and they consumed the soul of Alduin to make them immortal.
But high elves aren't yet. That's another fair point. It's 200. This is taking place 200 years after the events of Skyrim, but high elves are still in Skyrim.
No,
that's right. I don't want to talk about that, Double Spidey. That was a bit depressing. They added Balrogs to Shadows of War,
Yeah.
and they released footage of it.
That's not good.
It's a QuickTime event.
That's hilarious, because I figured that's exactly what was going to happen. It's
I would
like,
argue that
Balrog
weak characters
isn't-
could cross over well, but a
Like-
completionist character and low to mid fantasy are completely broken. Yes, yes, Overlord! I am so glad someone else has read/watched it. Yes! I love Overlord.
They added a Balrog.
No, they've
not
added Balrogs. There's going to be multiple Balrogs.
Oh.
No, wait. Does the Nemesis system include Balrogs?
Yes,
Because I will
sort of.
totally take that.
Campaignish, maybe.
Yeah.
No,
By the way,
no,
I
it's
I want it to
campaigny.
be. I want
They're
it to be.
they're not
the
Nemesis
same.
system in the same fashion as the rest of the system, but they're like supposed to show up on missions, and you have a quick time event to beat them up and then chase them
Okay.
off.
Okay, Sneaky. But if I get a cutscene with this thing talking about how I cut off its
No,
arm,
no, Devil Spidey. I
Whatever,
looked
free.
at the notes they linked in, and they were talking about how it is one of multiple Balrogs. Don't lie to me. I've seen it all.
actually, I'm willing to believe Devil Spidey over you at the moment. You
Yeah,
are known
also-
to completely fuck up your info.
Probably.
Yeah. Also, I too have finally seen Overlord. I watched it at your behest.
Yes.
Oh,
Wasn't
yeah,
it glorious?
It's great, isn't it?
It is one of the only times I've watched an anime and been like, I need to find the manga of this.
Oh my god, I was so happy when I heard they made an anime of it, and now they're making season 2. And it has
They're
just
making
made
season 2.
Yeah, it has
Oh, yeah.
made my year.
Definitely. I would have been shocked if they didn't make a season 2, because that
I'm
would have
not.
been
I know.
stupid.
I
That
know the
would've been
publishing company.
Stupid.
They fucking never make season 2s, and then in this year alone, they've announced season 2s to like everything they've previously made.
Wait, what else have they done?
Madhouse. They've done quite a few good ones. You'll have to look them up. I'm going to continue with the story.
Yeah.
Actually, get back on topic.
No topic. Stay off topic.
Anyway, as
Yeah.
the combat continues to degenerate into I'm more OP than you.
Welcome to Skyrim.
The movement of Spider's blade had caused the guard she originally stabbed to have only half of his body still attached. With a dagger?
I'm sorry, a dagger.
I'm sorry.
The blood splatter that followed to blind the high elf, leaving her open to an attack.
Fucking did this person explode?
Hold on.
We got caustic finale on the dagger or something?
Drawing her dagger. Didn't she already have it drawn? Buried it in the high elf's gut, twisting around in time to see a blade coming to remove her head. Spider did what she could. Fus Roda, the sheer force of the shout, disintegrated the second guard, leaving nothing but a pile of ashes. Not how Fus Roda works.
No, hang on a second. I
actually-
can believe it doing that.
That is an
at
upgrade
the age
for
it is.
Fusroda.
Yeah. I kind of remember that
But
being an upgrade.
disintegrating someone.
Oh yes, no,
I
yeah.
can believe it turning them into
No,
a
do you know
bloody mess.
tier 3 Fusroda, if you play the Solstheim DLC, you have the ability to upgrade your tier 3 Fusroda to have a chance at disintegrating an enemy instantly.
Unrelenting force.
I think a crossover
Skyrim.
would go better with a mid-level character, mid or low, wouldn't break the world. Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
Madhouse, yes. The group that made Overlord aren't exactly known for making second seasons. Yeah, I know, I've been trying to tell Max that Isley, but he's like, no, they do second seasons.
Offline.
Alright.
Oh yeah, no, it's sneaky. They did in fact make No Game, No Life. They also did High School of the Dead. Oh, are we getting a second season of High School of the Dead? Are we getting a second season of that?
Is it back up?
It's back up, but do I want a second season? Of
How
High School of the Dead?
much was lost?
I think we lost maybe 2-3 minutes.
Oh,
So most of the Madhouse talk.
Sneaky. Are we
What?
gonna get more Chobits?
Oh,
They did
wait.
Chobits.
Oh, they were behind Chobits.
Yes.
Oh boy.
They were also behind the Devil May Cry anime. Oh, I hope we get a second season of that.
Okay, so what was the last thing you heard from
anime
us?
kind of not good.
Oh, it was awful. It was
A few
so
seconds.
bad.
Okay, so yeah, as I was saying, Isley, yes, I've been trying to tell Max that for quite a while. That Madhouse doesn't do second seasons, and they do. They do now,
But
apparently.
now they are.
Apparently they got the funding they needed to just be like, hey guys, you know all those series you've been bugging us for the past decade to make a season 2 of? We're doing it! They are also making the No Game, No Life movie. I know, but it's a prequel, and I fucking am angry! Anyway, past my nerd rage over fucking amazing series.
You know, I mean, listen, I get it. You know, they don't make second series, but I'm pretty sure Madhouse handled the One Punch Man anime, and they announced within like 2 months.
They did.
They announced within 2 months of season 1 ending. Hey guys, we got a season 2
I
coming.
think the One Punch anime was the breakout they needed into popularity to get the funding for the rest of their shit. Because, like, No Game, No Life...
I would say that in combined with things like No Game, No Life.
But No Game, No Life was very, very low-key, though, in its reception. So was Overlord.
Oh,
like,
no. Sneaky, when did they announce that? When did they announce Season 2?
Of what, Overlord or No Game, No Life?
No Game, No Life.
It's not Season 2, it's the movie.
Okay, I was going to say, because I have an article here from June 10th saying that Season 2 is being cancelled because the artist plagiarized the hell out of it.
God fucking damn it. Of No Game, No Life?
Yeah.
Okay.
No Game, No Life.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
What the fuck are we talking about? We're talking about Madhouse Studios, probably one of the most prolific publishing studios for anime that you've never heard of but have watched all of their animes.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, do we have... Okay, come on. This is from June 7th.
Anyway, so while you guys go speculate about what Madhouse is and isn't going to be doing, I'm going to continue this up and finish this all up.
I'm not speculating shit. You brought it up.
Let's see. Cut the
just
guard
want
in
my One Punch
half, leaving her open to attack, drawing the, okay, we get the disintegration, the sheer force of the shout disintegrated her, leaving a pile of ashes, turning to see the blood trail the high elf woman had left attempting to flee her. Spider followed it until she found the high elf slumped against a wall. Behind a large ornament, the high elf looked up into the dragonborn's eyes. Finish it. Do it. The Dominion will do it, Dragonborn.
Hey, you know what? You know what? Let's write the Star Wars Dragonborn crossover.
Never watched anime by them. That's surprising.
No.
I suppose if you don't watch anime in general, I wouldn't be.
Oh, come on!
The Dominion will send more than just us, and maybe next time you won't stab your friend. She all but sneered. Spider's head was a whirlwind of thoughts as the dragons gave their opinions on what she should do.
Hold on. The Dominion is still around 200
years later. Yeah.
The Empire... First of all, I never understood how the High Elves... You know, basically this tiny piddly-ass nation beat the Empire.
Despite the magical prowess of the High Elves, I did not understand how they could out-troop the Empire.
Like,
apparently very carefully.
First of all, the Empire hasn't... I'm not saying that they're amazing mages, but they have Bretons.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
They have the Bretons. And even ignoring that, it's not like... You know, the Imperial Mage College is, you know, a laughing stock of the magic community.
Yeah, Zeeks also brings up a very good point. Stab your friend. Serana died from a stab wound when the Dragonborn's extremely good at restoration. Yeah, apparently she can't be healed because fuck you, plot.
Also, Serana, in order for her to still be alive at this point, she has to still be a vampire.
Yeah, I mean, you can heal as a vampire, I think.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She's undead now. She is an undead creature.
Yeah.
A stab wound.
Stab wound wouldn't kill her. Yeah.
Unless it's to the head,
or
it's
fire.
not gonna do anything.
Fiery stab wound might do it, but yeah,
Yeah, but
so
even then,
already did everything.
Hurt, unless the fiery stab wound was to a critical area.
It just wouldn't heal.
Problematic.
Yeah. And Isley says so much for the whole did all everything shtick. Yeah, she did everything, but not actually. Everything actually got paused. 200 years got wound into the future, and then the world unpaused.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's just. This is important stuff. This is when you claim your character's done everything, and when you claim your character's done is immortal or whatevs. Don't then have old conflicts pop up that they should have solved by now. Don't have the character be like, oh no, I can't heal stab wounds even though it's been 200 years.
You can't put tragic motivation into your plot when you've just said they can do everything. Because either they can do anything, in which case a tragic motivation isn't available, because, you stabbed my friend. Restoration magic.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Heal others. Burst heal.
Explosive heal.
Whatever the mass healing. Like, there are many options that anyone, even moderately skilled at restoration magic, has to just be like, oh, that's a stab wound. Fixed.
Yeah, it's just...
done.
It's just... There's so much conflicting information going on here. Anyway, so we got the dragon saying to kill her, no torture her, leave her to bleed. The thoughts were becoming too much as the thousands of dragons she has slain.
I'll go to a quick dragon count.
Quiet! It took all of her mental strength to keep from screaming the word out loud, but the dragons ceased their onslaught of thoughts, for the time being at least. Spider knelt down beside the high elf, who was looking rather pale as the blood was being drained from her. What I'm going to do next should not be mistaken for mercy, was all she said. Spider said, as she healed the wound around the dagger, flesh melding back together around the metal blade. So you can, in fact, heal Serana. But instead of that, you ran after someone else, and now Serana's dead, question mark? Re-dead? We have the technology. Indeed.
Oh my god.
Apparently no one told Spider.
Sneaky, I need you to go to chapter 16. I need you to go to chapter 16
We'll get there.
now.
We are right at the end. I'll get there in a second.
Go. This is...
Yeah, now she knows healing.
I am so thoroughly upset right now with this idiocy.
Oh boy, we got some torture going on? Excellent. The high elf looked at her in shock, but quickly regained her ever-present sneer. I'm not the one that's going to kill you, Spider answered the unasked question. But what haunted the high elf next were the words that exited Spider's mouth, and the utter calmness that accompanied them. You are. Spider looked down at the high elf and used the ancient word she learned years before, Gol Ha Dove. And just like that, the high elf was at Spider's mercy, and she didn't have an ounce to give her. Rip the dagger out of your gut and maim yourself until there's nothing recognizable. I want to hear you scream as you feel everything you are about to do to yourself. Spider turned and left, making her way back to Serana, who is barely staying alive. Because you went and did this bullshit instead of fucking healing your friend.
I was gonna say...
I'm sorry, this might be because I've been a bit too much into fighting games. And I've been looking at a lot of old Akuma footage and a lot of Akuma with Tekken 7. I could have sworn this guy just ripped off the Go-Hado from Street Fighter. Like, what does that translate to? Do you guys happen to know the Dragon Link off the top of your head?
No, not off the top of my head, but I'm looking through the Dragon Shouts right now. Yeah, okay, Bend Will.
Yeah, bend will is the thing.
Your voice bends the very stones to your will, as against power, animals, people, and even dragons must do your bidding. But
God, I think I've been playing too much Tekken. Fuck. I forgot about that thing. I never used it. It was useless.
What, bend will? Yeah.
Yeah, it was always it was quicker to just Fusro daw them off the cliff.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, why the fuck would I do anything else?
Like, oh, hey, a convenient cliff. Bye.
The duration of the effect is limited, however. So here's the thing.
But you don't understand. She absorbed Alduin's soul, and now she's super strength and stuff. If Serana is still alive, why isn't Spider healing her? Because reasons.
If she's got even a little bit of breath, just start. You're a Dragonborn. First of all, you're 200 years old. You've got to have.
Wait, what the fuck? Okay, we got Akatosh intervening? What the fuck is going on? Okay, hold on. Spider turned and left, making her way back to Serana, who was barely staying alive. Wordlessly, Spider. She's misspelling her own name now. Took Serana into her arms and carried her into the final room, where the exit was almost halting her. Why aren't you healing her?
Oh my god.
She heard the screams of the high elf. As she and Serana left the divine forsaken place and emerged at the top where she lay Serana down for the last time. Why aren't you healing her?
This is like the horror movie with the jackasses that keep yelling, "Don't go in the closet," except, you know, this is worse.
This is not. This isn't a Japanese RPG. Casting heal on the undead doesn't do massive damage to them. It does, in fact, just regenerate them.
Yeah. Yeah. This fic is similar to the Naruto one we saw last time. Things happen too quickly, no logic or lore behind them. Yeah, basically. Looking up at the unfamiliar sight greeted her Akatosh, chief deity of the divines. In an incomprehensible wisp of golden light, he spoke to his daughter. "My child, you have found more love, the vampire, than you have amongst your own kind."
What?
What? I will grant you.
That's how it's written.
I will grant you and her a gift, though I cannot bring Serana back. Still,
she's not dead!
This is like the Monty Python sketch!
Oh my god, you're right, it is! She's not dead yet! She can get better!
Dead. He doesn't look dead! No, he's dead, he's dead. I'm still alive! Be quiet, you're dead! No, really, I'm fine. Be quiet, I have a tragic motivation to get up.
I think I'm getting better, actually.
I can get up.
Stab. This moment seems to be an attempt at tragedy, but it's coming off as comedy. Yeah, pretty much.
I was gonna say, Sneaky, we need to make sure to bring that up.
Can we just... Can we watch that at some point? By the way,
Monty Python?
Yeah, just watch the Holy Grail at some point. Maybe we can do it for the channel thing. I do the whole.
Oh, it's fantastic! I've seen it a million times.
And whatnot. It's one of those movies that just doesn't lose its charm.
Yeah,
it's always nice to find
Monty
a movie
Python
like that.
and the Holy Grail. If you've never seen that movie, you are required to see it. Leave now and immediately go see it.
Go. It's fantastic.
I cannot bring her back, but she's still alive. Stab. I cannot bring her back.
I'm watching the scene right now.
Yes, you're right, Isley. You're right, Isley. Even though Akatosh is the god of time and could totally just turn time back, he can't bring her back because the plot's interfering.
I was gonna say, despite the fact that he's done that.
Anyway. Blah, blah, blah. I can give her peace if her ashes are... What do you mean you can give her peace? I mean, yes, her soul technically belongs to Molag Bal, but there's an agreement between the Aedra and the Daedra that unless previous things have been discussed between them, the souls go to whoever claims them. Which means that if they ever worshipped a Daedra in their life, it goes to the Daedra, and the divines have agreed to not interfere with that soul going there.
I was gonna say, a better...
Atin?
Oh, he just had someone come into his room, probably. But...
Yep.
Yeah, I did. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. For whatever reason, my sibling felt it was necessary to inform me that he's going to get a haircut.
What?
I don't know why.
Okay,
I needed
whatever, go
on. Yeah. In fact, with this plot line, it would have made far more sense for her to be going to Cold Harbor right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because that's the only way you're gonna get the soul back from Molag Bal. And even leaving that aside, maybe you could have Akatosh send her to the other plane because it could be like, I have sealed Molag Bal off from this world, but as part of that, I can't send people there. So I have to send you to another world which still has an open connection to his plane. And then you can go to Cold Harbor and save her.
Exactly. See, like, that, again, that would have been cool. That would have been a better plot line than, I'm not gonna heal Serana because I must get my revenge on the deathly wound she's had inflicted upon her, even though it's neither deathly nor a wound to a vampire. And I can heal her, but I must get vengeance. I have spent an enormous amount of time getting vengeance. Oh no, Serana is dead, basically.
Like,
Instead of healing her, I shall carry her out of this place and then lay her down. And then she is going to slowly die here instead. And then Akatosh has come down. Akatosh has come down and said, I cannot save her, but you can give her peace. And I still have not healed her.
You know, I feel like this could have been improved into an amazing comedy by having Akatosh come down. It's like, you know, you can heal her,
this
right?
would have actually made a very good comedy.
No, seriously, Spider, you can heal her. She's fine.
See, if they had gone the humor route with this, I would have been far more entertained by this story.
And here's the thing. I could understand, at least initially, oh, well, I don't want to heal her because there's enemies right there. Healing her at this particular second would be a bad idea. So I could understand her going on a little bit of a murder spree to make sure they're all dead before she heals her friend. But
yes, we can move on.
Why not just kill them and then heal her? Also, if you have this mind control shout, why not lead with the mind control shout and be like, go jump
while they're all busy, while they're all busy killing each other, I'm gonna go heal Serana. Yeah, whatever. So, let's finish this chapter up, hit chapter 16, and then get the fuck out of here.
It does affect multiple people. We're gonna finish this chapter, we're gonna leave a review complaining about all this idiocy.
No, I'm not even gonna leave a review to this. There's no saving this. There's no hope here.
Nosehair wants to join us in reading trash.
Oh, well, okay.
I guess he can join for the last 15 minutes.
I mean, I'm gonna keep going.
I was gonna say welcome to the last bit of torture.
Hello.
Let's see, blah blah blah, I can transport you. Here, have a locket. Serana's essence is inside this locket. Keep her close. Edits. The thing in making Spider do some magic from both worlds. The chapter was short. This is just the opening. No real background. I won't abandon you. Give me a review and suggestion. Okay, so guest review responses you said you wanted me to look at.
Just
This is a
Go look at
special
it.
guest
Go look.
review.
the reasoning in here is
I love
irritating.
I love explaining answers to these questions. Sorry if I ramble.
You can't see
I'm
it right now,
doing
but
it
I am
this way
angrily shaking my mouse.
because there are really
You
isn't
tend to do
another
that a
way
lot.
because you don't have an account. Yeah, I always encourage don't leave guest reviews. Honestly, it doesn't help anyone. If you're leaving a guest review saying, "Hey, this is great," it still doesn't help anyone because they can't even contact you to be like, "Hey, thanks for saying my story is great. What did you like about it?" Now, if you're leaving a negative review, they can't contact you and get further information from you. So unless
Yeah,
you're leaving a hyper-detailed guest review that's asking 0 questions, only giving constructive criticism, don't leave a guest review. Get an account. It's free. They don't
Well-
send you spam.
Well, here's the thing you gotta understand. Some people who write reviews on stories they don't like, they just want to go like, yeah, fuck you, and then they don't want to be contacted later. So
Well, they're bitches.
probably why they write.
And I'm gonna call them out for being bitches.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just saying. There's that little part of everyone that doesn't want to be recognized for telling someone else they're trash.
Anyway, I don't care.
Hey, you trash.
Okay, let's see. Here we go. Spider is a name that whenever you read it, you're always thinking of an arachnid. I mean, I guess.
No,
and for the most-
no, not really, because you didn't spell it like that.
No,
You
no, I think
spelled
they're explaining it.
Spyder.
Wait, are they explaining why they use spider?
Yes.
Wait.
Oh, shh. Just read.
Okay.
Just read.
Okay. It makes the sensation of skin crawling. Not really. It's like it's a spider. That's why she desired that state in her enemies. Imagine fighting an opponent whose name causes you to feel fear. Not really.
Spider doesn't make me feel fear, it just makes me look for the fucking bug spray.
I mean, not even that. If I was okay, so I'm in medieval times. I'm fighting someone named Spider because she's famous, right? And so I know her name because she's got a distinct, outfit or look or whatever. So I know it's Spider,
but
the
Sneaky,
famous one.
Sneaky, that's not even the worst part.
Oh, I know.
Just keep reading.
I'm just talking
have
about
to
this
keep
as I
reading.
go. So, I'm fighting someone named Spider. The first thing I'm gonna think about is, okay, maybe they're like really flexible or something, or agile or whatever. Maybe they use poison.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Especially if
think,
you know they're
oh
listening.
no, I'm super scared because they're named after an arachnid.
Who causes
Well, that's
you on
odd.
some level to feel fear without ever having heard of her before. No, that's not what it does. If anything, this is like when Rocket Raccoon is mocking the man named Taserface. If someone's like, "Fear me, I am Spider Poison Blood,"
I would
Well,
laugh.
first of all-
Honestly, if someone said, "Fear me, I am Spider Poison Blood," I would laugh in their face, regardless
I
of
would
how
too.
intimidating they are. I would just start laughing at them. I would probably die immediately after, but it would be worth it. It would be worth it.
because we've let this person know exactly what we think.
Isley says the author might be an arachnophobe, that he is also, and doesn't even give him that reaction. Yeah, don't project onto the audience. That's another key part. Yeah. I'm fighting someone named Spider. The name for spider in my language is Monkahana. Yeah, yeah, that's a fair enough point.
Well,
Yeah,
then.
that is a fair enough point.
Oh.
Is that names don't exactly translate well. Spidar. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
What?
I'm trying to wrap my head around what language Zeke's is talking
I think
about.
that was just an
Monka.
example language, maybe. I'm not sure.
It doesn't matter.
That I don't think really matters.
It does matter to me.
Okay, well, you keep doing
I
that while I
like
keep reading.
it. What the hell?
My intention was that there's going to be an unspoken
hi.
advantage for her.
World of Warcraft.
When heroes would be given the chance to build a reputation, to others be wary of them, Spider won't have that chance. no one's really going to be afraid of a person named Spider.
A Reaver.
Now,
Might be a name worth considering being scared about.
Now,
Still
hold on. No,
probably not,
I still wouldn't be afraid of someone named Reaver. I would be afraid of someone with the title Reaver, like, you know, Icarus the Reaver. I'd be like, okay, they earned the title the Reaver.
Yeah,
I don't think I want to fuck with this person.
Yeah.
It's like how.
Well, no, I mean, you know, what if it's, you know, the title has become
Spider
their
a
name?
type of
because
Necron?
they
I
just
believe it
forgot
is. Yes, it was random letters. Yep. Yeah, I was.
Hang
right.
on, let me check that.
But as I was saying, fucking Worm's actually a good example of this, and heroes somewhat named after the powers they use, and the main character's power is to control bugs, and she calls herself Skitter. She is trying to invoke the imagery of bugs skittering, and that does invoke more of a squickiness to it.
Not really, but a little bit more, anyway.
A little bit more than just the name Spider. And you're like, oh shit, lots of bugs, and then they start crawling over you, and you're like, oh fucking Christ.
Yeah, just to answer the question, Canotech spiders, Canotech spiders.
Yeah.
Also,
it was the media that gave her the name, but the point still stands in that her getting that name was going to invoke imagery because of the culture around the heroes and villains naming scheme. Having a random kid named Spider Poisonblood, or maybe she gave herself that name when she became the Dragonborn or whatever.
I'm pretty sure she gave herself that name. It says this in there.
Yeah. Maybe she gave herself. So she gave herself that name. That still doesn't invoke any like images of terror. It would have been better if she kept her name, like I don't know. Lucia the Poison Blood, and be like, oh shit, you know, is she gonna is all her equipment poisoned or something?
To give you an example of someone,
titles make you more menacing. Titles make you more feared.
I was gonna say,
not names.
To give an example of that, let's take someone like Geralt of Rivia. His friends know him as Geralt, but most other people that have heard of him know him as either the White Wolf, which has its own connotations, or the Butcher of Blaviken.
Yeah.
If someone comes up to you and it's like,
yes,
I think that's Geralt of Rivia.
Worm just
the Butcher of
Isaac.
Blaviken. If someone's, it's like, oh, I think that's the Butcher of Blaviken. Okay, in order to get a title like that, you have to have done something.
Yeah.
Where you have to have killed a lot of people, presumably in the town of Blaviken. Now, it doesn't matter how big or small that town is. It was a big enough event that everybody knows about it, and everybody knows you did it. That's a title that will make people worry.
Yeah, exactly. Titles like Vlad. Okay, it's Vlad. Vlad the Impaler. Oh!
I wonder what he does.
I wonder what he does to people. He impales them. Or Ivan the Terrible. Oh, I wonder what he's known for.
I was gonna say, or we'll take one that's not as menacing, but Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox. Yeah. Well, gee, if I'm anywhere near a desert, I'm probably gonna be nervous about fighting it.
You'll probably be outfoxed.
Get the fuck
out. You got a point, though. That is the connotation.
That was literally.
Yes, I know.
That was literally why he got the title.
That doesn't mean I have to like it.
He was also called White Locks. The Story of the Bloody Baron. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, like titles make the difference with characters. Names don't. Isn't someone can be named? This is I'm taking this from Harry Potter and how they love naming the goblin naming scheme that fans love to use for it. It's like, Igor Ironheart. Okay, yeah, that sounds intimidating, but I'm not intimidated. It's like, okay, yeah, you got a super serious name. It's not gonna make me intimidated of you though. It's Igor Ironheart the Ripper. Oh. Oh, man, there sounds to be like a story behind that.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, this is a key naming concept. Don't use intimidating names for your characters. Use titles if you want them to be intimidating.
And when you come up with that title, think carefully about what the title is and why you're giving it to them and what the connotations, intended or not, of that title could be. Like, for instance, Geralt of Rivia doesn't just walk around butchering towns. But if you don't know that about Geralt, and all you know is that he has titles like the White Wolf and the Butcher of Blaviken, boy oh boy, are you gonna make sure you step careful around him. Now, that's a good idea around Geralt regardless, but the point is there.
Yeah.
You know?
We've harped on
He
that
seems like
point
a nice
enough.
enough fella.
It's exactly like...
enough, though.
It's exactly like naming...
Like so Kanaji just said, Kazrak the One-Eyed Butcher, the Drakewald. Okay, like, here's the thing. Kazrak the One-Eyed Butcher, that's a name that's gonna make
That's a
you
name I haven't
think
heard
twice.
in a long time.
Hold on.
I mean, yeah, like, the names are
the
important.
Butcher, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Of course, the last time I heard that, it was before he was Kazrak One-Eye. Still had both eyes then.
Indeed. The one who lived. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no.
It's titles. Titles. That's the important
Yeah,
part.
no, like, titles are all important, and of course you obviously don't want to have a bard named Tommy the Troll Fucker, because at that point the bard ain't getting nothing.
Yes,
I feel like there's a story there, and we'll find out about it later.
it was a misunderstanding.
It's a story that's been passed around a lot, on TG and stuff. It's it's a Shaggy story. It's a Shaggy story.
Oh Lord, Shaggy.
well-
Fine, we'll hear about that.
Okay,
later.
we'll hear about that later. Alright, so our final story of the day shall be hopefully a good one, or something that's more than just a summary in the first chapter that we all have to sit there and laugh at for an hour.
Hold on, let's see the edge. Let's see the edge. I'm ready for the edge.
Mass
I'm
Effect.
hopping out. Ricky,
Alright.
make sure to be a good stand-in.
Mass Effect. Plan for the galaxy. I was
Nope,
chosen
never mind.
because I had thought it through. Because I knew what pain and suffering was.
Oh, hold on.
Now,
Start the
hold
banner.
on,
Start
yup.
the banner.
The banner is already up. Now I have the chance to see if my ideas can help Shepard save the galaxy.
Oh no!
Not-
Oh no!
Not the self-insert and original character insert.
Oh no! Oh, and it's rated M. It's rated M. Oh no! Oh
I can see us going places here. Alright.
no! Here we go, boys. Strap in. Get your popcorn ready. We're going on a wild ride.
Oh, this is my first
Mr.
fanfic.
Sneaky-
Please play
Mr.
nice
Sneaky's
in
Wild
reviews.
Ride.
Oh boy. Prepare yourself for Sneaky Devil's Wild Ride, cause there ain't no brakes on this train.
Just change the title of the stream to that. Just change
No,
the
no.
title.
Ricky, if you'll please go over to the stream, you will see that we have, thanks to production value, a wonderful banner. Here, I'll link it to you.
I'm reading the banner. I've been reading the banner.
Yes, indeed. We actually have... we actually have a banner here.
Oh my lord, the production value so good.
Production value.
Why is it black and red text though? That's one thing.
Because
Moving on
it's
to the edge.
edgy.
That is a good point. Never mind. Continue to the edge.
I started at the being... I stared at the being as he stood in front of me, smiling as if he had given me the best gift in the world. His, because it was definitely a he. Why does that need to be said?
What? Okay,
Robes
wait, what
were
does that have to
pure
do with
white and gold and appeared to be made of fine silk or possibly soft velvet.
Alright, hold on. I want to ask, how are you identifying that by eye person? Because unless you are a seamstress or a fashion designer, I have questions.
That's a
No,
fair
here's
point.
the thing. Their eye is directly onto the dress. They're just like looking so close. It's like
they're
I
actually
can see
feeling the dress
threads.
with their eye.
I can feel the threads.
This doesn't burn my eye as much as cotton.
Miranda, I can see everything! I love that glitch in Mass Effect. If anyone's unfamiliar with it, there is a glitch in Mass Effect if you wore the recon hood in Mass Effect 2. When cutscenes would occur that would remove the hood, for some reason the eyes were 4 times larger than they were previously, and so they were literally, like, jutting out of the skull. And that was the only thing you're able to focus on the entire cutscene. There is videos of it on YouTube if you do not believe me. Definitely go watch it after this stream is over. Or go watch it now, because this is going to be a train wreck.
I feel like the next thing we need, the next level of production quality is, I need to find a good sound for the edgelord alert.
Indeed, yes. Wait. Alright, I'm waiting.
No, we're
type
not
the
waiting.
name in chat. What do you mean type the name in chat? Type what name in chat?
I don't know. Maybe he means the recon glitch? Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. We're moving on.
Oh, he's naming the glitch. Name the glitch.
Oh, it's the recon hood glitch.
Okay, thanks, Devil Spidey.
Yeah.
They were glowing brightly, and it made it hard for my eyes to see clearly. Do not stare into an eclipse, people. I thought we had already established this yesterday.
We literally have been...
I'm
sure
story
Sneaky's
name,
already mentioned it multiple times.
The story name is Mass Effect Plan for the Galaxy. I'll drop a link into the YouTube description.
No, I said hoarsely. His
Oh,
face
hold
fell
on.
into an almost comical disbelief. It might have been funny under other circumstances. As it stood now, I had a hard time believing I would ever find anything funny ever again. Oh, hold on. Guys, I've cut myself on the edge already.
My wrist is cut. Help.
Aha! Sneaky, I know what the sound for our edgelord banner should be.
What?
It'll just be Reaper going, die, die, die!
I don't know. I think we might get copyright struck for that one. Anyway.
You should just have...
His face fell into a almost comical disbelief. It might have been funny under other circumstances. As it stood now, I had a hard time believing I would ever find anything funny ever again. No? He asked. What do you mean? No. I mean, I won't do it, Manuel. My answer is no. What kind of god is named Manuel?
I think it's supposed to be Manuel, Sneaky.
Fuck that shit! I pronounce it however I fucking please.
You dishonor the Mexican name. You shall be slapped with a sandal.
Cease.
No.
But why not? Manuel the Messenger.
Asked incredulously. Oh boy, someone's using their 5-set words today.
Someone's using their adverbs. Don't use adverbs. They are the
Hold up, I'm
disease.
gonna write my fanfiction. Let me just tear out this thesaurus.
Man, it's not a Mexican name, it's a hooker name. Well, I mean, he is the messenger. Surely this is something you wanted. I know for a fact that you have imagined doing this countless times. I stared down at the shredded skin of my shaking hands. The blood hadn't even started to scab yet over my latest wounds. The twisted fingers and assorted scars from the last few months making my skin look like a barely mashed together jigsaw.
Badly,
whatever.
not barely.
I refused to look around the room. I certainly couldn't look over there. Because those are dreams of someone who hasn't gone through what I have went through. I replied, or done what I have done. But don't you see, he rebutted, it's those things that make you the ideal person to go out and stop what will happen to those people. I just stared at the ground and shook my head. He moved closer and stopped just in front of me. Oliver, he said softly, his voice filled with a mix of compassion, insistence, and soothing. What you have gone through has managed to mold you into a person that you cannot even see yourself being yet. We know what person you can be, now that you have gone through such... The being paused as if he was considering his words. a defining experience.
Alright, hold up. First of all, I want to point out, Isley, I know it's not that fancy a word, but I'm thinking that for this author, I'm thinking it is. I'm thinking it is a pretty uncommon fancy word. Also, this is something that I hate. We're trying to set up a tragic backstory, so we're going to skirt and dance around the issue of the horrible thing that's done/been done.
We're gonna do a cliffhanger reveal of the terrible thing that OC did.
Just... No.
I glared at him. Defining, I spat out. The whole thing was defining to you? Manuel merely nodded. I know you are angry. I am not trying to minimize what you have suffered, but I am trying to show you that such tragedy can still have at least something good come from it, even if you don't believe it right now. I glared at him a bit longer before I felt the rage in my chest fade slightly. Why are you even wasting your time with me? I muttered. I know who you represent, or at least who you say you represent. Surely you don't think that after I did this, that I would be able to get any kind of positive attention. I gestured to the bodies around me, carefully avoiding that one. Something like pity seemed to cross over Manuel's face. At least I think it was pity. The glowing brightness made it a little hard to see clearly. Of course, he's an angel, isn't he?
Of course it is.
It's totally an angel.
Not that I'm pretty sure there are no angels named Manuel or Manuel, but
Nani the fuck. Nani the fuck indeed.
No, the link broke that was showing the glitch, so that's why.
Yeah, I'll copy the link and post it myself. That probably won't break the link. Copy link address, paste. That probably will let me post. Yeah, you all saw that, right? The rage in my chest, isn't that slang for heartburn? I mean, in certain areas, yes.
The rage in my chest compels me to battle. What is this angel? A fucking corn cultist?
Maybe. Let's see, blah blah blah. Pity, of course. Oh yeah, so here we go. And believe it or not, that is one of the reasons I was authorized to make this offer. What offer? I snapped back. You are trying to convince me to be thrown into a video game, for crying out loud. Right after this butchery happened? After everything I suffered? Why can't you just let me lay down here and die? I cut myself at night.
First of all, right after this butchery happened, butchery is not a word.
Butchery.
Butchery is a word if you're a butcher.
Butchery.
Butchery. Pretty sure butchery is not a word.
You practice the art of butchery.
I believe it is a word. Yeah.
You practice the art of butchery. It's a word.
Butchering, though. It'd be butchering.
No. Butchery is a descripting. It's a descriptor.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, and welcome to the English language.
I would say we'll write that off as English being weird.
Let's see. Blah, blah. I was shouting at him at this point, but at the last word, I finally did the one thing I hadn't done since, well, that other thing that happened.
Oh
I cried. The feelings of despair, hatred, lack of finality despite everything, loss, sorrow, betrayal, everything came rushing back and overwhelmed me. Before...
Hold up. Where did you feel lust when they apparently killed a lot of people? Because then I have
loss
a few...
I said
and
loss.
Sorrow. Where did
I thought I heard
lust?
lust.
Get your ear out of the gutter.
Look,
boy, that would give that a whole other connotation.
That's why I was confused, and I needed to double check that.
Even before these things happened, I was never truly an emotional person. I was the guy that was known for being solid. Over the years, many girls had cried on my shoulder, I'm sure, calling me a rock.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So
Solid, yeah.
Oh
Not
no,
a
Mr.
self-insert,
Sonic
huh?
Man is no longer Sonic. What do?
Not a self-insert, huh?
Not a self-insert at all. Totally not an idealized version of myself. You've missed everything, Xenon. You've missed everything. A rock that was securely stuck in the friend zone. Unfortunately. But I was the guy that others cried to. That shoulder to lean on at funerals, which I had attended more than I really cared for. Or just when things hadn't been going well in other ways. I was never the guy that just cried. Call me emotionless or cold-hearted. Call it what you will. It was the way I was raised. Men don't cry, be a man!
Oh my god.
That one got knocked into me from an early age. It wasn't until later that I changed it to men cry, but privately. Emotions like that are not what you show to others. Time to pour myself on acid again and fill the body with salt.
Oh, Lord.
Oh man, we already even passed the halfway mark.
I think we needed a new banner for this one. This is some new levels of edge. Alright, Sneaky, your mission is now to increase the size of the banner to, like, half the screen.
No, we're not gonna do that.
Okay, got a big old gulp of water so I can continue doing that, that voice.
Just stop. Don't do that. Just let it go. Just read it normally.
I can't. This requires the special touch. At least I've not bothered God today.
Are we gonna leave a review for this one?
Do you want to?
I think we should.
Alright.
Since it's their first story.
Well, alright, audience, when we finish this, we'll make a collaborative effort to leave a good, constructive review for this person. And explain to them in excruciating detail
How retarded they are.
why this is not... why this story should be billed as a comedy. This story is perfect. It's the perfect unintentional comedy. Yes, indeed. Yet here I was now, blubbering like a baby in front of another person, or eternal being, or whatever. And I didn't care. And it was the second time in less than 3 months. Well, you've murdered a shit ton of people the second time in 3 months, and then proceeded to cry in front of an angel? Ooh, buddy.
Hold on, man. Hold on.
Oh, look at me!
Fucking
Look at
rewind here!
Ooh, look at my character. He's so emotionally damaged inside.
How many murder sprees are you going on?
Is this the character from Hatred? This has to be the character from Hatred. I'm not picturing this character any other way. Doesn't matter how you describe it. I'm just picturing a guy with, like, the worst hair in the world with a fucking black coat on.
They have a mohawk and an overcoat. Good day, m'lady.
No, it's not even an overcoat. It's an overcoat that's made to look like the Organization 13 coat.
It's an
so they look like even
overcoat
more
made
of
of
a twat.
skulls of children that they've slaughtered.
Or maybe John Wick's cousin.
John Wick's cousin.
10 out of 10. That's an insult to John Wick, though. Take that back. John Wick at least is...
I don't know how long the tears kept falling. In fact, I think you need a comma there. I mean since we're going to be roasting the shit out of this story, you do need a comma there after, in fact. I think I fell asleep at some point.
All that we've gone through and you focus on the comma, really?
You know what? Fuck off!
Focus on the periods. Focus on the periods.
No, there's no point in focusing on that. Because I just I would kill myself by the time we get to the end of this if I did that. As exhaustion finally claimed me. Yeah, I guess murdering a shit ton of people is exhausting. Next thing I know, I am waking up with my face pressed against the cold, rough, concrete floor. There needs to be another comma there. I groan and push myself up carefully. The broken bones in my hands, wrists, and arms make the task more difficult than I would have ever wanted it to be, but I persevered until I was more or less sitting upright. Broken bones in my hands, wrists, and arms. You realize that causes massive internal bleeding, correct?
Also, severe pain.
That's severe internal trauma!
Such that even hardened military veterans can be knocked unconscious by that pain, let alone a self-insert OC edgelord.
See, they're basing it off their D&D character they made 3 months ago that the DM denied because it was too edgy. So it doesn't have to deal with normal human standards. This is clearly the most powerful human in the world. Whatever the fuck
I didn't know we were dealing with Albert Wesker.
Yeah, alright, let's keep going. No easy feat when I am pretty sure my back was broken too.
What?
What?
Does this person have an understanding of how the human body works? I don't think they understand how the human body functions.
Oh my
I don't think
God.
they do.
Sitting up is difficult when your back is broken. Yeah, it's because you can't move.
I'm fairly certain you literally cannot move if your back is broken.
Well,
Like-
no. Okay, they could be only paralyzed from, like, the waist down. Theoretically, you could sit up.
Yeah, but some of the nerves in your lower back are key parts of your organs that keep you functioning.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, theoretically, you could sit up.
Also, I just want to mention that he obviously didn't incur these injuries when he broke down and cried. So he was standing up, talking to an angel with a broken back and broken arms. He was standing up with a broken back.
Oh,
Would someone like to add sentences to the Dark Edition? Just start
That's
taking
a
quotes
really
from us,
good-
I guess.
That's a really good point. That's a very good point about how terrible this is. We should include that in the review.
Yes, indeed, White. The angel got mad at his weeping and just inflicted them while he was sleeping.
No sleeping on the job.
Sure
Inflicts
enough,
spinal injuries.
Manuel was still standing there. He looked at me with such kindness and concern in his face. I am pretty sure that no matter what he wanted me to do, I am pretty certain it was better for me than going through what I just went through. I ignore him for a moment as I look around.
Is this like one of the Perestroika angels from that like one book that just like have the ability to just like give you pain or something? Because it sounds like his back isn't broken. It's like he has the feeling of his back being broken. I don't know.
Indeed. Let's see. The bodies were all still where they had been left. Where I had left them. Except for the one that I still refuse to look at. It's a zombie now.
Hold up.
What?
I'm just kidding. I didn't cause that one. As I stared at the scene around me, I no longer felt rage, sickness, or any of powerful emotions that had been coursing through my system for the last few months. I just felt empty. Hollow, really, with a vague sadness that came from deep within me, like an echo emanating from where my heart used to be. Oh God, he's turning hollow!
Is this gonna be a Dark Souls?
No,
Mass Effect
Sneaky.
crossover?
He's become a nobody.
Oh my god, my organization comment was right.
This is the Kingdom Hearts Mass Effect crossover we've been looking for.
We should find if one of those exists.
They do.
They
oh,
do.
good. It will be terrible.
There's a reason why we don't go near them. Aside from Aegis, I can't think of anyone who would still walk after having their back broken. Crawler. Marionette.
I mean, the elusive man's somewhat like a nobody, I guess, if you want to take it that way.
No, we're not going there.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to...
Why me? I finally asked, staring at the being.
Okay, no, we're fine. It's not a nobody. Nobodies don't feel emotion, right, guys?
Why do you want me to be the one that gets put in a computer game? Surely there are better options. Manuel gave me a sad smile. There might be, he admitted, but there are few things that work in your favor. For one thing, you actually thought about how you would handle the situation, at least a little bit, so you would have a head start. Another thing, and it's not really a head start when you can literally put them in at any point in time. I don't really care, Xenon, so... Another thing is that most of the people that might serve as a replacement are currently less likely to adapt to the situation as they know very little about the Mass Effect universe. And finally, he paused as he looked at that place. Everyone else would have people that would notice they are missing. In a way that can't be explained like this can, he finished in a soft voice. I glare at him as the feeling of rage started to build again. You mean I am the most convenient choice? I snarl. I am starting to feel less friendly towards that sympathetic face. Everyone thinks I'm dead, and even if I am not, it would be better for me just to disappear, so why not throw the punching bag a bone and put him somewhere else? Just leave me alone!
Oh, the edge.
The edginess. So much edginess. The edge is cutting you. My throaty pillow. My throaty bellow echoes off the bare stone walls for a moment, as Manuel just looks at me sadly. He doesn't say anything, just stands there across from me, keeping the room alight with his glowing. After a long time, I look away from him and stare miserably at the floor. Why do you even care about it? I ask. It's just a video game. Nothing there is real. Clearly it's not if your god fucking cares about it. It's simple deductive reasoning, my dear retard. Well, he begins. I look back up at him, feeling suspicious. As it turns out, the game is a lot closer to life than people think. That one gets me. What do you... A fucking... A god is sending an angel to you to push you into a quote-unquote game to quote-unquote save it. If it was just a game, there wouldn't be gods involved. Unless the god's like, hey, you've done pretty shit stuff, I want to laugh at you, now you're in the game.
No, to be fair, it could also be the no game, no life universe.
That's true as well. But still, it's just like...
But since this is none of those things...
It's just like, oh, it's just a game, what do you care? Because it's clearly not a game, then! It's just like, fucking simple deduction, like, seriously. And you're writing your characters Mr. Stoic, Mr. Logical, but he can't put two and two together and get fish?
It's not even getting fish, though, like...
Bruh, I have to find a way to advertise this podcast to get more attention. Yeah, I would appreciate it if you did. And more people to have fun with, more people to revel in my suffering, more people to see
suffering.
You too can be a pointless shill.
You
Just take
too
this
can
link.
suffer along with me for 2 hours.
Simply find the link in the description and post it to all of your chats. Post it
God
to
might
your
be
phone.
bored. God might be bored, you're right, honestly. Anyway, as it turns out, the Mass Effect universe is actually real, he replies, all too casually. It simply isn't this universe. You see, one of the other messengers was tasked with finding a way to get people from this universe to become familiar with the Mass Effect universe, so as to see who would be able to be moved across to help in the war against the Reapers. I sit there and mull it over for a moment. Okay, so another being like you gave the idea of Mass Effect universe to a game designer, and BioWare ate it up and made a game out of it? Sound about right? Close, he said. It wasn't just the vague idea. The events in the game are exactly as they would happen in real life for the people in the Mass Effect universe. No real changes at all.
Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up. How did Mass Effect 3 happen then? Unless this is a universe where the game didn't happen yet.
You know? Because reasons, fuck you.
No, you know what? If we're gonna nitpick this story, I'm gonna nitpick that. That's bullshit.
Please, nitpick away. That's what you're here for.
Oh, it's a yes. If there was no change to the universe, as in I never send you or anyone else there, then things will be nearly exact as they are in the ending of the game. Nearly,
Oh,
I
good!
prodded.
Oh, good! We're involving time travel, too!
Well, I mean, hey, we already got omnipotent gods involved, so why the fuck not? I had to admit I was at least a little interested now, if only to listen and try and distract myself from my surrounds. This whole conversation was surreal. I wasn't entirely sure I wasn't hallucinating. What's the different? What's different? Okay, there we go. That's better. Well, naturally, there is no choice as to which Shepard you get in real life, and the damage in real life is probably much larger in real life than the game would show. Manuel gave a small shrug, and no matter what happens, Shepard saves the galaxy and dies no matter what. The game programmers felt like making things a little bit more optimistic and let the destroy option possibly keep Shepard alive. But in real life, no. Dead Shepard in shattered galaxy that goes into the chaos of civil war as certain people try to pull themselves on top of the food chain while everyone rebuilds from the galaxy-wide destruction. It takes centuries to fix the damage and costs billions more lives over that period. Technically it'd be trillions if you're talking about worlds. Billions is a very small number when you're talking about worlds. Other than that, all the main missions, loyalty missions, side quests are exactly as they are in real life. That in itself should give you a chance, as you will know in advance what to expect and how to fix things. Angel is secretly a sadist who's just having fun with Mr. Static. Yeah, man, that'd
This
be
is
amusing.
literally just fucking Sword Art Online, but with Mass Effect.
Have we gotten any set us up the bomb moments of the stream yet? Like really shit English? Yes, actually in our earlier streams, like really early streams, we did have some moments where the grammar was just so awful we couldn't stop laughing as we read it. And that it
Oh my
just
God.
read.
What was that?
Oh my god,
Jeez, that
JC,
was
a
like
bomb.
episode 10, episode 20, you know.
That's right, it was so far back.
Like, some of them were so bad that it was just like, does this person speak English? And the answer is yes, they do speak English. It's their first language. Zexes says, well, I can kind of justify happening to the OC if blah blah, all the memories, universe, sealed by traumatic experience, placed under, probably do something. Yeah. Headcanons are fun, indeed. The Dank Edition will come out. Go for it, Xenon. Unleash the Dank Edition.
Let's finish this, though.
Yes, indeed. And he paused and looked at me with a determined expression, and the real reason I chose you first was because of what happened to you. Look around, he gestured around the room. Look what happened to you, and despite them doing their best to destroy everything about you, you rose! Beaten and broken, maybe, but you rose and did everything you planned to do. You survived, and you succeeded. His gaze softened again, and believe it or not, this would be a chance for you to find happiness again. The best you could possibly have. I look away, again, and think about it seriously. Get placed in the Emmy universe and save the galaxy alongside Shepard? Apparently be happy, but I have trouble believing that I could ever be happy again. At least right at the moment. Or I could be stuck here and have my situation hound me for the rest of my life. Or I could just give up. I look up at Manuel. Convince me, I say. The way he looks at me makes me think he is a little unsure and suspicious, maybe a little calculating. What do you think I have been doing? I think you have been trying to persuade me, I retort. That is the act of convincing someone!
I'm gonna just slowly contemplate suicide. Right?
Slowly?
When
by
you
that, I
guys
mean
hit number
play CS:GO.
75, try going to the first few stories to see if they have gotten better. If nothing else, it will be fun. I mean, we could do that. It'd be entirely up to if you guys really wanted us to go back to those early stories.
Here's the thing. The early stories, everyone's like, oh, they might be better. Why would anything nice happen?
Yeah, that, and why would they have changed? I mean, if you would pay attention to the earlier podcasts, we've had interactions with some of those authors that we've left reviews at, and 100% of the time, it's been authors raging at me for how dare I insult their perfect story. So...
Yeah.
The first was legendary. Oh, well, maybe I will go back then. I have heard about what I can do for them. What possible reason do I have to accept it? Why should I not just say no and lay down and let death take me? I realize that sounds very drama queen-esque, but to be honest, it was still on the cards at this point. You want me to do this? Then you need to convince me.
What?
His eyes narrow.
You don't need his...
Send him. Just fucking send him there.
Like, honestly, I would be enjoying this story much more if this angel just went, wow, you are just super edgy, so I'm just gonna drop you in the clinic on the Citadel. Figure it out.
Alternatively, just...
Snaps fingers.
You are now the naked greased man. Click.
Alternatively, just do the Half-Life edition, where it's just like, okay, you don't want to go? Fine. Put you in a room full of enemies with nothing. Any last words? Something like that.
Indeed.
If you want to be edgy, at least do that. Come on. If we're going with the theme here.
His eyes narrow as he looks at me. I can see that he understands what I had in mind. Honestly, considering who he is a messenger of, I am a little surprised it took this long. He sighs. Why don't we just skip all the nonsense and you just tell me what you want? Do you want to be made a biotic? I grunt. Hell no! I want to be made a Super Saiyan.
What?
He gives me a sardonic stare. You know I can't do that. Try again.
What happened to wanting to die?
I don't fucking know. I grunt again. Worth a shot, I said. I let out a sigh and a wince from the pain in my ribs. It kind of felt like they were grinding against each other.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. You now have broken bones in your hand, wrist, and arms.
Back.
I was getting there. The possibility of paralyzation. And now you have broken ribs. You should not... Your consciousness is literally impossible. Literally not possible.
I'm gonna be
Yeah,
scared if I come onto this podcast and find you guys reading my stories.
I think we can definitely
we'll
say
find
that
them.
this is like a pear-stricken, like Angel, where it can just give you emotions.
I don't
and
think
feelings.
so. I don't think so. I don't think this author's that.
I don't think the author thought that much into it. After
No,
all,
they
they have an angel called Manuel.
No, see, it's probably someone who just read the book from their high school class, so now they're starting to think like, "Oh, this might be cool to put in my story." That's
Why
literally
the
the only
sudden
reason why it's
attempt
like
at comedy? I don't know, Isley. Because people think that you need to balance being serious and being serious
Because this person
and
doesn't
comedy at
understand
the same time.
comedic timing. They
Yeah.
don't understand at all.
Hey, you don't just throw comedy into a story. It must evolve naturally. Or, you know, be an Abbott and Costello skit.
Or a
Those
Monty
are always
Python
great.
sketch.
Yeah, exactly. Monty Python, Abbott and Costello. Great shit. Great shit. Good shit. Everyone's good shit. I'm pretty sure that's not what ribs are supposed to do. No fucking shit. Look, if you really want me to do this, then I'm going to need resources, money, equipment, and other things that I can use to make my most reasonable plan work. We're going to be talking about Masked Up in a second after this story as just a counterpoint to this, because that was done fabulously. Most of that I can achieve if I have enough money to be able to buy stuff later, not to mention the whole not existing in that reality issue that I can't just be bothered dealing with, so I need to exist as myself, but under a false name. Like Spider Poison Blood. For me to do this, and I need to have enough money to make it work. I am thinking about 2 trillion credits with about 2 years to get everything set up before Eden Prime.
What?
What? What?
What the fuck are you gonna do? Bankroll an entire mercenary faction?
Possibly.
Possible, actually, now that I think about it. I would argue you do not need to balance, but the timing is most important. That's what I'm saying. People think you need to balance the humor and the seriousness. You don't. If you're going to go with a serious story, then just have some good comedic moments that fit to break it up. Not during a serious moment, though, obviously. Like, in between the serious moments, have a good solid joke. Or if it's a comedy story, have a good serious moment to bring it all back down to build the comedy back up again. Is this guy trying to buy himself a planet? This is a possibility. He might be trying to buy a planet.
Hey,
More
let me
likely
take
he would
all the
lose it all because he's
tension
no
worry out of a
connection.
Mass Effect story.
Indeed. I just need all the money in the world, the weapons in the world, and a fleet. And I'll save the world.
I mean, it's true. They probably would save the world with that.
Manuel stares at me, flatly, clearly unamused. Really? Is that all? He asked sarcastically. Really, I couldn't tell if that was being sarcastic or not. I'm so glad you added the adverb. I glare at him. Hey, buddy, you came to me and asked me to do this. You know I am right about needing resources for any plan to work. No, you don't need resources.
No, not
just
at all.
fucking wing it and start stabbing people. That works out for like 50%
just
of the
follow
time.
Shepard. Shepard did it with literally nothing.
Wait, isn't Shepard dead in the story though?
No.
No, because
Remember, it's 2
person's
years
going to
before
go back
Eden
in
Prime,
time.
apparently. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Time travel. I am just going to end up stumbling about like all those people who do self-insert oh boy, we're getting into the meta, kids! Who do self-insert fan fiction that have no other plan other than to wind up on the Normandy and pray things go well. But that's the best kind of story. That's not why you came to me. You want me because only I will be able to go there, but because I already have a vague plan. To do that, I need resources. So again,
Only I have the
convince
brains
me.
to rule Lilat.
Indeed.
You know
Only
what?
I have the final solution for the Reapers.
Go write a Star. Go, you know what, Ricky? Your job is to go write a Star Fox.
Do a barrel roll?
Yeah, go write a Star Fox Mass Effect crossover.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Manuel looked at me for a long moment, his eyes appearing to try and evaluate my soul. Well, considering he's an angel, that is probably what's occurring. "I'll be back," he finally said, with a brief pulse of light. He vanished into thin air, leaving the room darker now that his glow was gone. I don't know how long I waited. After a while, I fought against the pain and stood up. "With your broken back?"
Again,
My
it's
twisted and mutilated feet were barely capable of carrying my much reduced weight. Why? Is that because you don't have any inner organs now? I slowly hobbled towards the one door that led to freedom. I passed into a hallway that was dimly lit by one slightly flickering fluorescent light panel in the roof. You mean the ceiling? I make my way at a snail's pace down the hall until I see a door on the left that is ajar. I push it open and see monitoring equipment. It appears to be a surveillance room. There are monitors all showing the dead bodies in the room I just came from. Figures.
Oh my God.
I knew I had been on camera in that hellhole. I just hadn't realized how many. It was too dark in there most of the time to be able to see. If the lights came on, it usually meant I was about to be too busy to notice something like the number of cameras. What, so he was fucking tortured or something? Wouldn't it be funny if this guy got to the Emmy universe and when he tried to buy something he got arrested for credit fraud? That would be an interesting start. Like, they managed to bargain for all this money and shit, and then they get arrested for fraud and have to start over.
That'd be great.
That would actually be an interesting story. That would be an interesting story. I hope I'm giving people ideas. That would actually make my day to see a fanfiction I suggested.
You don't have enough power and influence for that yet.
Oh, we'll get that.
I don't have enough intrigue points to spend for that.
Yes. You don't have enough intel.
I come over to a computer.
That's
You
disgusting.
mean you go over to a computer?
Why would you...
Like,
That's
that is the most awkward and probably incorrect way to write that. Not sure what the idiots were thinking. It wasn't even locked. They probably were thinking, hey, this guy that we're brutally torturing day in, day out, hey, he's probably not going to be able to kill us all. That's probably what they were thinking. The first thing I notice is the date. I don't know how long I stared at it. The funny thing about being stuck in the dark, windowless room without any way to effectively measure the time is, you could very easily lose track. Now I see the date on the screen and feel a little ripple of unease push through the emptiness I have inside. 9 months. I was stuck in that cell for 9 months. I went through all of that hell in 9 months. Somehow it feels like it was both longer and shorter than that. Mostly longer, though.
really how do they know about this?
So he was being tortured for 9... Wait a second, wait. How is he going through the computer? Isn't his wrists, hands, and arms broken?
Mm-hmm.
How is he
Also
operating
back.
this mouse? Is he just slapping the mouse and the keyboard with his broken floppy arms?
That would cause him to pass out. Definitely cause him to pass out.
Does this person even understand injuries?
I don't know, which is something we're going to comment on the review. Because if this is their first story, we have to try to fix this now.
Yes, indeed. It is our duty to make sure that they do not continue this. Oh god. The first thing I date, measure inside, and you push 9 months. After a while, I start to open files at random. Video files. All of me showing what they did to me, and her, and him. I feel the pains start coming again. Not just the physical ones, the ones that make me want to cry. I quickly shut off the video and stare at the blank screen. I take a look at the desk and see a few pieces of paper. A mug, of half-drunk coffee,
Okay,
a couple
seriously,
of USBs,
the
and a
amount
bunch
of words
of
he's using just for
uncertain
these simple
things.
actions.
Now, class, what's the symbolic meaning of the story starting after a 9-month period? I hope this wasn't intentional. Looking at the computer tower, I notice an external HD with 2 TB on the side of it. I fire it up and copy as much of the video recordings as I can into it.
What?
So they're just fucking... What? If there's anything my old job taught me, it was to get as much evidence to cover yourself as possible. What the fuck was your old job? Once completed, I take a few shaky steps and sink into the swivel chair, wincing as pain shoots to my lower back. What are you planning to do with that? Manuel's voice comes from behind me. I swivel and see him hovering about a foot off the ground. His expression curious. I don't know how I didn't notice the brightened room. Better to have evidence to cover myself, just to prove I am not lying, I replied, breathing a little heavier than I would have liked. The lack of food, sleep, and activity over the last 9 months really working on wearing me out. That's... Wearing? Yeah, that's wearing. Why would you need that if you're going into the Mass Effect universe? I decide against shrugging. Pretty sure I couldn't, even if I wanted to. You're sure you can't shrug, but you can operate a fucking computer?
And stand? And walk?
Now I can imagine
Seems
someone
good.
else just saying, sir, why are you carrying around a video of you being brutally tortured? That's how he gets off at night, Isley.
Yeah.
I might need to use it as proof for something, I reason. Show Shepard or someone as a last resort. What? So you decided to do it? That depends on what you have to offer. His lips twitch into a small smile. Well, here is what I have been authorized to do for you, he said. I can put you in 2 years early, like you wanted. I can fix you up physically, so it will be like none of your injuries have ever happened. I can set it up so you can...
That's great. This person would have already died from 7.
Yeah, this person should have died or have at minimum gone into shock by the amount of internal trauma they supposedly have. Brutalized feet and legs, broken arms, wrists, and hands. They then proceeded to walk on and operate a computer with.
You're dead. You're literally dead.
Oh boy. Okay, so let's keep going. I can set it up so that you have an identity that exists in their records, as if you were there the whole time. I can also put you anywhere you want in their galaxy. As for resources, I can't give you a massive amount of credits. However, he puts up a hand to stop me interrupting. I can give you information that would help you get the credits yourself within a short amount of time. You would have
good.
to do the
Now we're
legwork
doing
yourself.
insider Sneaky. Now
we got
instead of credit
angel
fraud,
trading.
it's insider trading.
Insider angel trading, man. Insider angel trading. That's like a leg above insider trading. Got fucking angels spying on people for you. You would have to do the legwork yourself, but the credits are easily attainable. I think for a minute. I can work with that, I reply. By the way...
You can't work with anything! You're dead!
You should be dead by now. By the way, what are the rules on changing things? How likely are my actions going to change things from the canon? Manuel chuckled. If we didn't want you to change things, why would I offer you the chance to go in and do just that? He grinned. His face grew a
Because you're
little
secretly
more
a Reaper.
serious. Because secretly you're a saboteur.
I wouldn't be surprised.
However, yes, if you do nothing to the main characters, it is possible to be able to go through with their story completely unchanged. Every action you have will have consequences. There are no fixed points in the timeline, but I would caution you that just because you can take action to stop some things from happening, it doesn't mean you should stop them from happening. Sometimes the actions that happened as we know them were the best choice available. You can die if you're not careful. We are not making you immortal or immune to the consequences of your actions. For all intents and purposes, it will be regular life, just with more knowledge. I mull that over and make a note of that for the literal future. You don't need the word literal. For at least the beginning, I should be able to avoid that. Don't have any plans to interfere with Shepard's early life. And not like you could anyway, since they are fucking N7. And
Yeah.
it's not like you're going to get access
You're
to
nothing.
them. Okay, now what do I get out of this, I ask? I thought we just covered that part! Manuel raised an eyebrow. You need more? I gave another grunt. You have only told me what I can have to do the job. You haven't given me an actual incentive to do it.
What? What?
He looks at me thoughtfully, then he looks over his shoulder behind him as if he was looking at someone I can't see. I see him nod and look back at me. We can give you Jason back. I stare at him in shock before it turns into a glare bordering
Sneaky,
rage.
it all makes sense now! He was working for Jason the Murderer!
Jason the Impaler?
No, like Jason from Friday the 13th.
Yes, I know. I got the reference.
I mean, I guess I kind of get the Impaler joke, but yeah.
Don't make statements like that if you can't follow through, he tells an angel who has power over life and death. But I can promise you that if you succeed in this, you will get him back alive, unblemished, physically and mentally. But it will be you two living in that universe together, not this one. That's the deal. For the first time, I look at the computer monitor in front of me, aimed at that part of the room, looking at the rotting remains on the floor, much smaller than the others, and a few weeks further along the decomposed stage. For the first time, and I can't remember how long, I start to feel a little hope. And if I die before the end, I ask softly? Well, that depends on how. If you try to die early by deliberately walking into someone's shots without reason, or if you commit suicide any other way, the deal's off. Suicide is still a big no to the boss if it can be avoided. If you've done everything you can, and then you get to be with him on the other side. So noble sacrifice, yes. Stupid suicide, no. I stay quiet for a full 5 minutes as I think about this, and still haven't gone into shock. You know, if you had told me this at the start, I would have agreed straight away, I say softly. Manuel gives me a kind smile. I know, but I wanted to see if you were willing to do it first, to let you know the stakes. I nod slowly. All right then, I say. Let's get started. And that brings us to the end of this story. Chapter thing. Suffering. Suffering was immense. Alright, so let us all do a very constructive and concise review of his story.
Alright, so here's step one.
Step 1, learn how human anatomy works.
Step 1, Google. Alright, so let's do it in the typical style. A. Please, before you write about injuries, look them up. The amount of injuries this person sustained would send anyone into shock. Especially someone who had already been tortured for 9 months. Alright.
B. you have him walking around and operating a computer with a broken back, broken wrists, broken arms,
Yes.
broken legs.
B. His arms, wrists, and hands were broken. But
Along with his spine
could-
and his legs.
Yes. Were
And
broken.
you have him get up and operate a
Along
computer.
with his spine, parentheses, supposedly. And you have him get up on mashed feet, comma, walk down a hallway, and operate a computer. That amount of internal trauma would kill anyone, let alone him agitating such massive wounds. Anything else? Well, I know with the anatomy thing, it's just gotta reiterate though.
Yeah, this is such a different level.
I feel like A is just us telling him to look up it, and B is us telling him that he's doing it wrong. You know?
really, really wrong. Number 2, starting with this
B.
in medias res, like this in medias res and obnoxious cliffhanger nonsense, like.
Just like that needs to stop like immediately.
Cliff
You're not funny.
hanger on the first chapter. Not actually scoring brownie points. Definitely should mention something about the humor. The attempts at humor were ill-timed and poorly executed.
And quite frankly, unnecessary, despite, despite their, how should I say this? Edgelord bullshit. We'll find a different way to phrase that in the actual review.
Yeah, I'm not really going to complain about the terms they said in the final thing, but it's just, the attempts at humor were ill-timed and poorly executed. There's nothing wrong with putting humor into your story, but it detracted from the scene you were trying to set. Anything else? Anything else? We got anatomy, we got humor attempts, we got cliffhangers. I just realized he just made a Mexican angel who is the runner.
Shh.
Like, I know I'm not supposed to notice that sort of stuff, but Zeke is about the higher power. Any involvement of higher powers in such a story makes them look like a complete trolling jerk. Better just dump the character in the universe unexplained.
Oh, let's not forget the needless, pointless, stupid fourth wall breaks.
Indeed. Alright, so we're gonna finish up with that. Random god being granting wishes and dropping people in the Emmyverse. They can control time and space, so it seems far more trolly than benevolent. And then finally F. What else would we say?
I think that about covers it.
Yeah, it pretty much covers it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright. I gotta go do garbage.
Yep.
So.
And I'll close it out.
Later.
And we're done, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, so, post review. Boom! Alright. Thank you all for joining us today. Fanfiction Contempt Theater. That is all for today, unfortunately. I'm so sorry. But we did go over our normal time limit, so I hope that makes it up to you. As always, you can follow us on either Twitch at True Sneaky Devil or YouTube at Two Idiots and Suthner, where all of the podcasts are archived under the helpful playlist of Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9000. It is linked in the panels below. Just click on the Two Idiots and Suthner button, and you'll be taken there. If you want to check out our fanfictions, or the list of my recommended fanfictions, or my list of specially recommended fanfictions, you can check out the links below in the panels as well. For YouTube users, it's on my Twitch page. To anyone that wants to catch us live, as always, we are on Tuesdays and Fridays from 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe that is it. So, have a good night, everyone. And remember, it's not over. It's never over. And it always gets worse.